Chapter 2275. This battle lasted for 3 whole days. The alien race paid a terrible price, but they ultimately failed to break through Two World City. The war drums sounded and the alien race began to retreat. Rumble. Warships retreated one after another. Outside Two World City, the hole that had been torn open began to heal. Clean up the battlefield. Someone ordered. The Heaven Domain experts began to clean up the battlefield. They sorted out the alien race corpses and packed them away. Many people had heavy hearts. Although more alien races had died in this battle, the Heaven Domain had also paid a heavy price. A large number of experts had died in battle. This is the first time in 30,000 years that the alien race has launched such a large-scale attack. Someone sighed. Although the alien race had also launched a large-scale attack a few years ago because of the spatial tunnel, the scale was not as large. After cleaning up, these resources would all be stored in the exchange hall by the higher-ups of Two World City as public resources. The city walls were still solemnly waiting to prevent the alien race from attacking the city again. Half a month passed in the blink of an eye. Rumble. In the distance, huge battleships were charging over again. The alien race had come to attack the city again. The battle broke out again after half a month. This battle was even more tragic than the previous one. Countless experts died in battle. Even great emperors died one after another, and some heavenly emperors were seriously injured. In the end, the alien race retreated when they saw that they could not break through. Why did the alien race launch such a large-scale attack? This is the first time in 100,000 years. Someone's expression was very grave. Many people guessed that the alien race had lost their patience and planned to forcefully break through Two World City at all costs. I heard that the alien race launched a large-scale attack on another battlefield more than 10 years ago. There has been endless killing over the years. Someone else spoke. The atmosphere became even more tense. Two World City was not the only battlefield in Taiching Heaven Domain. There was another battlefield. It was also a spatial tunnel, but it was not connected to Hunyuan Heaven Domain. Instead, it was connected to another heaven. Taiching Heaven Domain was connected to 2 other heavens, and they both had the same spatial tunnel. Naturally, these 2 spatial tunnels became battlefields. The other battlefield was not inferior to Two World Cities. There were also many experts guarding it, and there was endless killing all year round. The alien race had launched a large-scale attack on that battlefield more than 10 years ago, and the killing had been constant over the years. Just like that, the peaceful days passed for another half a month. Half a month later, the alien race launched another attack. But this time, the alien race stopped tens of thousands of miles away. What are they doing? Everyone on the Heaven Domain side. At this moment, a group of people flew out from the side of the foreign races. They flew towards Two World City and stopped 10,000 miles away. I heard that the Heaven Realm has produced many geniuses in recent years. Among the younger generation, countless experts have been born. Coincidentally, some geniuses have also been born in my world. Why don't we exchange pointers? A figure stepped out from the side of the outsiders, and his voice reverberated throughout the entire place. This outsider had a jade-like complexion. He had a head of violet hair and was incomparably handsome. He looked no different from a human, except for the eye between his eyebrows. This was a member of the royal family of the Outsiders, a terrifying celestial emperor. The Outsiders were going to send out geniuses to challenge Qin Wentian. Many people were astonished. How do you want to fight? A big shot from the Heaven Domain asked. Everyone looked over and saw that it was Heavenly Lord 6 Saints. You can leave now, said the royal of the alien race. Then, 5 figures walked out from the alien race. These were the 4 young men of the foreign race. Even though it was difficult to tell them apart based on their appearances, judging from their life auras, they were indeed from the younger generation. They were quite young. These are the 4 young geniuses of our domain. The Heaven Domain can also send 4 geniuses to fight, said the royal of the alien race. What is this alien race doing? It's very simple. The alien race wants to use this move to attack the morale of the Heaven Domain. If their geniuses can crush our geniuses, many of us will feel despair and see no hope. On the contrary, the alien race's morale will increase greatly. Many people discussed. Many people realized that it was indeed so. This time, the Heaven Domain and the primordial realm could be said to have reached a golden age. Countless geniuses were born. Many people saw this group of geniuses as the hope of the Heaven Domain. They even used large amounts of resources to groom them. They could enter and leave as they pleased. They hoped that this group of geniuses would grow up and turn the situation around in the future. However, what if the geniuses of the alien race defeated the geniuses of the Heaven Domain? In that case, It would prove that even if the geniuses of the heaven domain grew up, they would still be no match for the alien race. How despairing would that be? It would be strange if their morale was not low. However, they had to fight this battle. If they did not fight, it would also affect their morale. This was the alien race's scheme. Many people looked at the alien race's geniuses. One of them was burly and covered in purple scales. When he opened his 3 eyes, they shone brightly. Another one was less than a meter tall and had 4 arms. The third one was the strangest. His body was about the same height as a human, and there were no scales on his body. However, he was like a shadow. His body was constantly twisting, and there was a third eye between his eyebrows. The fourth one made many people's eyes narrow. It was a purple-haired young man. He was unbelievably handsome. His 3 eyes were slightly squinted, and there was a faint smile on his face. He was a royal of the alien race. Who should we send out? Someone asked. The 4 of them must be the top geniuses. We only have the 9 extinctions to win. There are some 9 extinctions in the two-world city, but they seem to be in seclusion. Send someone to find them. Voices were heard. Then, some heavenly emperors entered the sacred cultivation grounds of the two-world city to look for the 9 extinctions. As for the outsiders, they waited patiently outside the city walls. Not long after, a few figures flew towards the city walls from the two-world city. Found them. Many people's eyes lit up. There were 4 young men behind the heavenly emperor. Coincidentally, 4 of the 9 extinctions are in the two-world city. The heavenly emperor smiled. The others smiled as well. The 9 extinctions were the 9 strongest geniuses of the younger generation in the heaven domain. They had reached the true emperor realm long ago, and each of them was a heaven-defying genius. With the 9 extinctions they would definitely win. Are they the ones? One of the 9 extinctions said arrogantly, and he was full of confidence. If Lu Ming was here, he would have recognized him immediately. It was Xin Wulin who was defeated by him and almost left the 9 extinctions. During this period, Xin Wulin had been in seclusion in the two-world city, and his combat strength had increased tremendously. Haha, I have been in seclusion for a long time and I want to stretch my body. Chapter 2276. Xin Wulin and the others were very confident. They stood at the peak of the younger generation in the heaven field, and their talents were unparalleled. They believed that as long as they grew stronger, they would be able to reverse the situation in the heaven field and defeat the non-humans. They might even be able to lead the army of the heaven field to the evil god world. They didn't put the non-human prodigies in their eyes. I'll go with you. Heavenly Sovereign Six Sacred said as he stepped out, followed by a few other heavenly emperors. Xin Wulin and the other 3 prodigies also stepped out and stopped not too far away from the non-humans. You're finally here. I thought you guys wouldn't dare to fight. One of the non-humans said lightly. The heaven field isn't afraid of anyone in the younger generation. Heavenly Sovereign Six Sacred said coldly. If that's the case, then let's begin. You can choose any of the 4 prodigies you want. The heavenly emperor of the non-humans said. Xin Wulin and the others were also sizing up the 4 non-human prodigies. When they saw the outsider royal, serious looks appeared in their eyes. Everyone knew that the non-human royal was extremely rare, but each one of them had terrifying battle power and limitless potential. They didn't care about the other non-human prodigies, but they had to take the non-human royal seriously. I'll go first. Xin Wulin said as he stepped out. His eyes scanned the 4 non-human prodigies and finally landed on the burly non-human. The burly non-human race was the most common race among the non-humans. The people of the heaven field knew this race the best. Xin Wulin naturally chose the one he was most confident in. You fight me. Xin Wulin pointed at the burly non-human. You're choosing me? The burly non-human opened his 3 eyes and emitted a cold, murderous intent. Being the first to be chosen, he felt that he had been underestimated. Brat, it's your bad luck to choose me first. Brat, remember the one who defeated you is called Wuxia. The burly non-human stepped out and emitted a powerful aura. A true emperor. There was no doubt that Wuxia had reached the true emperor realm. There are strong and weak true emperors as well. Xin Wulin made his move. With a push of his hands, 2 stars appeared and shot towards Wuxia. Petty tricks. Dandan opened his mouth and 2 beams of destructive light shot out from his third eye. Bang, bang. The 2 stars that Xin Wulin shot out were easily defeated. Xin Wulin's face darkened slightly. He quickly formed a seal with his hands, and 1 star after another appeared around him. There were a total of 360 stars. Stellar Cycle Fist. Xin Wulin did not hold back at all. He directly used his strongest killer move and raised his combat strength to the maximum. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Stars streaked across the sky, carrying long tails as they hurtled towards Weima. Xian Wulin's combat strength has increased by a lot. That's right. A few years ago when he fought against Lu Ming in Alcade Ancient City, his battle prowess was only equivalent to a third-order true emperor. Now he's already a fifth-order true emperor. On the Heaven Realm side, many people were overjoyed. Thinking about it, the Black Tortoise Forest had suffered a great loss in the battle with Lu Ming. In the past few years they had worked hard and improved at an astonishing rate. They believed that this battle was in the bag. But in the next moment, the faces of the Heaven Realm's people changed drastically. Weima roared as his body emitted a crystalline purple light. A battle axe appeared in his hand, and his burly body charged towards Xian Wulin like a wild beast. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. At the same time, Weima held the battle axe with both hands and continuously slashed at the stars. Bang, bang. Those stars were like bubbles that were easily split apart by Weima. Weima took large strides forward, and the battle axe continued to slash out. Stars formed one after another and were destroyed. Xian Wulin's face changed. He roared and pushed his palms forward. In an instant, a total of 200 stars flew towards Weima. Break! Weima shouted coldly and slashed out several hundred times. The sky was filled with axe shadows. Those stars exploded one after another. Kill! In the end, Weima roared and slashed out a shocking axe light. A giant battle axe that was 10,000 meters tall suddenly slashed towards Xian Wulin. Xian Wulin's pupils contracted rapidly. He erupted with all his strength and merged all the stars into one, forming a giant star that flew towards his opponent. But when the giant battle axe slashed down, the star exploded like a sun in the sky. Xian Wulin screamed miserably as his body flew far away. He flew for more than 10,000 meters before crashing to the ground and vomiting blood. Defeated. Xian Wulin was defeated. The faces of the Heaven Realm's experts were ugly. Xian Wulin, one of the 9 absolutes, was defeated without causing much trouble for his opponent. This Weima's battle strength is at least at the 6th order true emperor realm. Someone said solemnly. Many people sucked in a breath of cold air. The foreign races also had such terrifying geniuses? How could this be? The Heaven Realm and the primordial world had only produced a large number of geniuses during the Golden Age. But how could the foreign races have such powerful geniuses? It must be a special case. The foreign races can't have many of such geniuses. Impossible. Someone growled, finding it hard to accept. This is the Heaven Realm's genius? He can't even withstand a single blow. Weima said coldly. He looked at Xian Wulin with disdain and walked back with his battle axe. Heavenly Sovereign 6 Saints and the other heavenly emperors had ugly expressions. Xian Wulin's defeat would more or less affect the Heaven Realm's morale. You must win the second round. Heavenly Sovereign 6 Saints transmitted his voice to the remaining 3 geniuses. I'll go for this round. The bald youth stepped forward. This person's combat power was very strong. Back then, in the Alcade Ancient City, he had also made a move to deal with Lu Ming. However, he was stopped by Dandan and displayed shocking combat power. He was much stronger than the Xian Wulin back then. The bald youth's gaze swept across the remaining 3 geniuses and finally landed on the skinny foreign race with 4 arms. You come out and fight with me, the bald youth said. Then I'll fulfill your wish. The skinny foreign race smiled faintly. He took a step forward and appeared in front of the bald youth. His speed was shocking. Whoosh. Following that, the skinny youth made his move. His body flashed and disappeared. In the next moment, 4 incomparably sharp rays of light appeared around the bald youth and slashed towards him. So fast. Many people were shocked. The skinny foreign race's speed was too shocking. His body flashed so fast that it was impossible to catch him. Mad Demon Fist. The bald youth roared as he punched out with both fists. Terrifying fist energy swept out in all directions like a mad demon. Clang, clang. The sound of metal vibrating echoed in all directions. Chapter 2277. The speed of the bald youth's fist technique was also astonishingly fast. He was actually able to block his opponent's attack. The 2 of them exchanged over 100 blows in an instant, and it was difficult to determine the victor. Interesting. You can actually keep up with my speed. But let me tell you, I'm only using half of my speed. The skinny foreign being sneered. Suddenly his speed increased greatly once again. The speed of his 4 sharp weapons also increased greatly, becoming twice as fast as before. The bald youth was shocked. He roared angrily and pushed his fist technique to the extreme. But he was still no match for his opponent. Poof! A wound appeared on the bald youth's body. His body was almost cut in half and blood flowed profusely. The bald youth frantically retreated, wanting to avoid his opponent's attack. But his opponent did not stop attacking. There was no way he could avoid it. Poof! The bald youth was hit again. His body was cut again. This time one of his arms was cut off. He spat out large mouthfuls of blood, and a look of despair appeared on his face. Die. The skinny foreign being's eyes were ferocious as he charged toward the bald youth. I admit defeat. I admit defeat. At the critical moment, the bald youth roared. Die. The skinny foreign being did not stop and continued to charge toward the bald youth. Enough. A heavenly emperor beside heavenly sovereign 6 saints acted. A force enveloped the bald youth and swept him to his side. Haha, you need a heavenly emperor to act. What a piece of trash. The skinny foreign being sneered. He looked at the bald youth with disdain, then stepped back. The bald youth's face was extremely ugly. He spat out a few mouthfuls of blood, then sat down cross-legged to heal his injuries. Heavenly Sovereign 6 saints and the other heavenly emperors also had ugly expressions. Just now, when the heavenly emperor had acted to save the bald youth, the opposing heavenly emperor did not stop him. Perhaps it was intentional. The bald youth had suffered a crushing defeat, and the heavenly emperor had been forced to act. Countless people from both sides had seen all of this. This was a huge blow to the heaven domain. Their top prodigies had been defeated and needed a heavenly emperor to save them. How ironic was that? How could this be? Some people from the heaven domain were filled with despair. Their overall strength could not compare to the foreign races. Even the prodigies of this generation could not compare to the foreign races. What hope did the heaven domain have? It was only a matter of time before they were defeated and destroyed. At this point, there were still 2 outsiders chosen who had yet to make a move. The shadowy outsider stepped forward and said in a cold, piercing voice, "Which of you wants to fight me?" On the heaven realm's side, there were still 2 young geniuses. One of them was a beautiful woman, and the other was a young man in a blue robe with a graceful bearing. I'll handle him. As for the outsider royal, I'll have to rely on you. I'm definitely not a match for him. At that moment, the beautiful woman said to the blue-clothed youth. The 9 absolutes of the heaven realm also had their differences. The blue-robed young man was one of the strongest among the 9 absolutes and was ranked in the top 3. All right, no matter what, we cannot lose the next 2 matches. The blue-clothed young man said. The beautiful woman nodded and floated out. Without saying anything, she engaged in a great battle with the shadow-like evil god race being. Both of them should be at the 7th order true emperor realm. Their battle prowess was on par with each other. However, the other party's body was extremely bizarre. Not only was it as elusive as a shadow, it was even capable of launching soul attacks. After exchanging dozens of blows, the beautiful woman was at a disadvantage. How could this be? The people from the heaven realm exclaimed in disbelief. How could the outsider race have so many powerful geniuses? They were even more terrifying than the people from the heaven realm. No, I can't lose. Ruthlessness flashed in the beautiful woman's eyes. Suddenly, she stopped defending and allowed the other party's sword to pierce her body. Taking advantage of this opportunity, she attacked with all her might. This was a battle that would cause both sides to suffer, but it was also effective. Obviously, the other party didn't expect the beautiful woman to be so ruthless. Boom, boom. Both of them retreated. The beautiful woman coughed out large mouthfuls of blood. Her body was almost torn apart by the sword chi. However, the other party didn't have it easy either. He was hit by the beautiful woman's all-out attack and was also heavily injured. Both sides suffered. On the heaven realm's side, after the beautiful woman's desperate attack, the battle finally ended in a draw. But on the heaven realm's side, no one was happy. There was only despair. The evil god world had also given birth to such powerful geniuses. What hope did the heaven realm have? It seems like you came prepared today. The 4 of them should be the strongest geniuses in your world. One of the heaven realm's heavenly emperors said. Many people's eyes lit up. It was possible that the foreign races had come prepared. It was possible that they had brought the strongest geniuses of the foreign races. That was why they were so powerful. As for the heaven realm, not all of the 9 jades had arrived. There were still some geniuses who were still growing. If that was the case, then there was hope. You don't have to deceive yourselves. To tell you the truth, the 3 people who fought just now can't even enter the top 10 of my world. One of the foreign race's heavenly emperors sneered. Can't even enter the top 10? Impossible, absolutely impossible. It's fake. It must be an alarmist talk to scare us. We don't believe it. The Heaven Realms people were in an uproar. No one believed it. The 3 people who fought just now were already unbelievably powerful. The 9 Jades of the Heaven Realm were not their opponents. With such combat strength and cultivation, they couldn't even enter the top 10 of the foreign races. This was too despairing. They naturally didn't believe it. It's really sad. No wonder you all lost. I swear in the name of the Heavenly Emperors that all of this is the truth. The foreign race's Heavenly Emperor said indifferently. The Heaven Realms people were in despair. Was what the foreign race said true? This person is a prince of my world. He has amazing talent and is ranked 9th among the younger generation of my world. Following that, the foreign race's Heavenly Emperor pointed at the foreign race's royal youth. The foreign race's royal youth stepped out and his gaze fell on the blue-robed youth. Remember, my name is Luo. I will crush you. Fight. The blue-robed youth stepped out and launched an attack towards the foreign race's prince, Luo. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The blue divine light transformed into a series of astonishing attacks. As soon as he attacked, the blue-robed young man displayed a terrifying combat strength. Combat strength of an 8th order true emperor. The Heaven Realms people's eyes lit up as they saw hope. The blue-robed youth's combat strength had already reached the 8th order true emperor realm. To be able to reach this level at such a young age, he was definitely strong. You have some strength, but it's not enough. Luo said indifferently. A destructive light shot out from his eyes and turned into dozens of sword lights that slashed towards the blue-robed youth. The sword lights whistled and broke the blue-robed youth's attack, causing him to retreat quickly. What? So strong? Many people were shocked. How was it possible that the blue-robed youth was forced to retreat in one move? Kill! Luo shouted. The sword lights whistled and slashed towards the blue-robed youth. The blue-robed youth roared and soared into the sky. He used a terrifying super skill to break the sword lights and charged towards Luo. I'll defeat you. Chapter 2278. Luo was extremely powerful and brave. With a single palm strike, he pierced through the void and destroyed all of the blue-robed youth's attacks. The blue-robed youth's expression changed drastically. He wanted to retreat, but it was too late. Bang! The terrifying palm strike landed on the blue-robed youth's chest. The blue-robed youth screamed as his chest was pierced through. His body flew tens of thousands of meters away as he coughed out large mouthfuls of blood. He was severely injured. No, this is impossible. Someone from the heavenly world shouted in disbelief. The blue-robed youth was ranked in the top 3 of the 9 absolutes. His combat strength was at the 8th order true emperor realm. However, he was severely injured in just a few moves against the foreign prince. The gap was too big. More importantly, was Luo only ranked 9th among the foreign race's younger generation as the heavenly emperor had said? If that was the case, there was no hope for the heavenly world. When this generation of geniuses grew up, the heavenly world would not be filled with hope, but despair. Many people shouted, unwilling to accept all of this. After waiting for countless years and fighting for countless years, the golden age of geniuses had finally arrived. This generation was destined to rise up and give birth to peak experts. Everyone was looking forward to the rise of this generation. Then they would kill their way back and take back the 9 heavens domain. However, this was the outcome they had been waiting for. Many people's faces turned pale. At this moment, their morale was gone. What was the use of fighting and risking their lives? Not good. Heavenly Sovereign 6 Saints sighed in his heart. He knew that this was a huge blow to everyone. The situation was not good for the heavenly world. Haha, the golden age of the heavenly world is nothing more than this. You can't even withstand a single blow. Do you have any more geniuses? Come out and fight. One of the foreign race's geniuses laughed, full of disdain and mockery. Today they had achieved their goal. The morale of the geniuses was low. After some time, it would definitely collapse. There are many geniuses from the heavenly world who are not in Two-World City. Otherwise they would not be weaker than you. Heavenly Sovereign 6 Saints said. At this time they could not afford to be weak. Is that so? Then I will give you time to send people to find geniuses. I'm afraid that the ones you find will not be able to withstand a single blow. The foreign race's Heavenly Sovereign 6 Saints laughed. Go and find the top 2 of the 9 Jades. This time we must not weaken our morale. Heavenly Venerate 6 Saints transmitted his voice to a heavenly emperor. I'm just afraid that they have even stronger geniuses. The heavenly emperor sighed. I don't care about that anymore. Now I can only fight. Heavenly Sovereign Six Saints said. That Heaven Emperor nodded, his figure flashed and left the place. The outsiders stood quietly on the battlefield, waiting. Their expressions were calm and composed. At this moment, Lu Ming ended his cultivation. Insufficient energy can't break through. Lu Ming sighed. Although he had refined a lot of world cores, his cultivation had only reached the peak of 7-star Void Emperor. It was impossible for him to break through to the true Emperor realm unless he had a large number of Chaos Stones or Primordial Stones. Forget it, I'll go back to the true Emperor battlefield. With my current cultivation, I'm invincible in the outer regions. I'll hunt for alien cores and exchange them for Chaos Stones. After making up his mind, Lu Ming exited the mountain river diagram and flew out of the two-world city. As he neared the city walls, Lu Ming felt that something was amiss. The atmosphere in the two-world city was extremely heavy and oppressive. There's a big battle? Without thinking, Lu Ming could guess that there must have been a big battle. When he arrived at the city walls, he saw that many people's eyes were filled with helplessness and despair. It was as if they had lost all hope. After asking around, Lu Ming understood what was going on. Are they alien race geniuses? There are alien race princes as well. Oh, there are Chaos Stones. Lu Ming muttered to himself. Then his eyes lit up. Lu Ming looked around and saw Heavenly Emperor Heng Yu and the others on the city walls. Lu Ming quickly walked towards Heavenly Emperor Heng Yu. Lu Ming. Sensing Lu Ming's presence, Heavenly the Arch Heng Yu revealed a smile. Senior Heng Yu, please let me out. Lu Ming said. You want to go out? Heavenly Emperor Heng Yu revealed a surprised look. Yes, I want to meet the alien race's geniuses. Lu Ming nodded. This? Heavenly Emperor Heng Yu and the other Heavenly Emperors looked at Lu Ming with some hesitation. Although Lu Ming's talent was unprecedented, he had just become an emperor not long ago. A few years ago in Alcate Ancient City, Lu Ming's combat strength was not weak and could defeat Xian Wulin at that time. But now, Xian Wulin's combat strength had improved greatly, but he was still not a match for the alien race's geniuses. Even if Lu Ming improved faster and was stronger than Xian Wulin, it was impossible for him to be a match for the alien race's prince. Alright. But Heavenly Emperor Heng Yu only thought for a moment and nodded in agreement. Lu Ming had already made history by becoming an emperor with many types of laws. No one had ever done so before. No matter how fast Lu Ming improved, it was not surprising. Their eyes shone with hope, hoping that Lu Ming could defeat the alien race's geniuses and restore the Heaven Court's morale. Immediately, Heavenly Emperor Heng Yu ordered to open the array and let Lu Ming out. Lu Ming's figure flashed and flew out of Two World City. Instantly, he attracted everyone's attention. That's Lu Ming. It's Lu Ming. Why did he go out? Is he going to fight the alien race's geniuses? Before Lu Ming became an emperor, he had already mastered many types of laws, and even the 3 strongest types of laws. Once he became an emperor, he rushed to become a 4-star Void Emperor and suppressed Xian Wulin. Now that a few years have passed, Lu Ming must be stronger. He might even be able to fight the alien race's geniuses. Many people revealed hopeful looks. I don't think so. No matter how strong he is, he can't be a match for the alien race's prince. Someone poured cold water on them. It was an expert from the Lan family. Why do you have to praise others and destroy our own morale? We'll know after the battle. Heavenly Emperor Heng Yu glanced at the Lan family's expert and said coldly. The Lan family's expert's face changed and he didn't dare to say anything. Lu Ming was extremely fast. Like a bolt of lightning, he arrived beside Heavenly Sovereign Six Sacred and the others. Lu Ming. Heavenly Sovereign Six Sacred and the others looked at Lu Ming and nodded. Senior, let me fight. Lu Ming said. You want to fight? What a joke. Don't you see how strong the other party is? If you fight, you will only cause us to lose another battle and destroy our morale even more. Xian Wulin said first. Do you think others are the same as you? Lu Ming glanced at Xian Wulin in disdain. You? Xian Wulin's face flushed red, but he was indeed defeated and couldn't refute. Lu Ming, fight with all your might. Heavenly Sovereign Six Sacred said. Lu Ming nodded and stepped forward. As he walked in front, the aura of a 7-star Void Emperor erupted. 7-star Void Emperor? Impossible. How did he improve so quickly? Chapter 2279. Xian Wulin roared in his heart. He was shocked by Lu Ming's cultivation. The others weren't any better. Their mouths were agape as they sucked in a breath of cold air. A 7-star Void Emperor wasn't much. However, this 7-star Void Emperor had only become an emperor 2 years ago. That was terrifying. The other members of the 9 Extinction sect, such as the bald young man, the blue-robed young man, and the beautiful woman, all looked at Lu Ming in shock. Great! Heavenly Sovereign 6 saints and the other heavenly emperors were overjoyed. With Lu Ming's talent, if he continued to grow, he would definitely become a peak expert. The people from the heavenly world were shocked. However, the people from the foreign races were stunned and looked down on Huang Xiaolong. They didn't know that Lu Ming had only become an emperor 2 years ago. Is there really no one else in the heavenly world? You actually sent an Void Emperor to his death? One of the heavenly emperors from the foreign races mocked. So what if he's an Void Emperor? He's strong enough to defeat your so-called prodigies. Lu Ming spoke with disdain and provocation. Arrogant. Leave this brat to me. Among the 4 prodigies from the foreign races, a burly prodigy covered in purple scales stepped out. A giant axe appeared in his hand, and his eyes were filled with malevolence. This person was called Wei Mo. He had easily defeated Xian Wulin in the previous battle. No one from the foreign races stopped him. In their opinion, Wei Mo alone was enough to deal with a mere Void Emperor. Bang! Bang! There was purple light all over Wei Mo's body. He was 4 meters tall, more than twice as tall as Lu Ming. Every time he took a step on the ground, there would be a booming sound. It was as though a huge beast was walking. Brat, I'll chop you in half with my axe. Wei Mo snarled, and his 3 eyes emitted a sinister light. Lu Ming raised his middle finger, revealing a look of disdain. You're courting death. Wei Mo stomped on the ground and the ground cracked. His burly figure charged towards Lu Ming. While he was in midair, he swung his axe at Lu Ming. A terrifying axe light split the void in half. A 6th-order true emperor is too weak, Lu Ming muttered. His figure soared into the sky, charging towards the other party. When he met the opponent's axe light that was chopping down, Lu Ming immediately struck out with his palm. In this move, Lu Ming used the indestructible golden body. His entire body was like a peerless divine weapon. At the same time, the power of law covered his palm. Boom. The axe radiance was like tofu, unable to withstand a single blow. Lu Ming's figure didn't stop as he charged towards Wei Mo. Mo was shocked. He didn't expect that the attack he had unleashed with all his might wouldn't even be able to withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. This was completely beyond his expectations. In his opinion, a mere Void Emperor could not be that strong. He would definitely be chopped to death by his axe. By then it was already too late for him to dodge. Lu Ming had already arrived. Bang! Lu Ming's palm landed on Wei Mo's face. Wei Mo let out a miserable shriek as half of his face exploded. His body slammed heavily into the ground, creating a huge pit. He laid there, twitching non-stop. He was already half dead. The entire place fell into silence. Everyone couldn't help but widen their eyes in shock. The powerful Wei Mo, who had easily defeated the Black Tortoise Forest, was actually unable to withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. In just one move, he was suppressed by Lu Ming and was heavily injured. The impact was too strong. Good. Good hit. Cheers erupted from the heavenly world side. The two-world city was in an uproar. Many people were yelling in excitement. It was too satisfying, too satisfying. Just now, the heavenly world's geniuses were suppressed by their opponents. Now that Lu Ming had made his move, he defeated one of their opponents with a single slap. This scene was as good as drinking a cup of cold beer on a hot summer day. Initially, many people were in despair. But now they couldn't help but feel hopeful. There were even stronger geniuses in the heavenly world. Although the geniuses of the foreign races were strong, it wasn't like they couldn't be defeated. Of course, there were a few people who weren't happy. For example, Black Tortoise Forest, Lan Qing, and those who had a grudge against Lu Ming. Damn it, when did he become so strong? Damn it. Black Tortoise Forest roared in his heart. He couldn't accept it. Previously he was easily defeated by Wei Mo. But now, Wei Mo couldn't even withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. Didn't this mean that he was too weak? His face was extremely gloomy. Lan Qing snorted coldly. His face didn't look too good either. Similarly, the experts of the foreign races had ugly looks on their faces too. Their geniuses of the foreign races were actually defeated by Lu Ming in such a domineering manner. It was a slap to the face. It wasn't good for their plan either. This is your geniuses? Too weak. Change to another one. Lu Ming said casually as he looked at the remaining 3 geniuses of the foreign races. Other than the prince of the foreign races, Mo Tianluo, the other 2 had grave looks on their faces. Even if the 2 of them were stronger than Wei Mo, they wouldn't be much stronger. They definitely wouldn't be able to crush Weima as easily as Lu Ming. Even if they went up, they definitely wouldn't be Lu Ming's match. A 7-star Void Emperor with such fighting strength. Interesting. Let me take you on. Emo Tianluo stepped out. His purple hair fluttered in the wind and he looked extremely handsome. In addition, he had a third eye in the middle of his brows that was filled with an evil aura. If he were to enter the human race, he would probably charm thousands of girls. Lu Ming revealed a smile. His target was Emo Tianluo. Make your move. Stop wasting time. Lu Ming said casually. He had an expression as though he didn't care about Emo Tianluo at all. Emo Tianluo's eyes flashed with a tinge of gloominess. His purple hair fluttered in the wind as his entire body emitted purple aura. Swoosh. A dazzling radiance shot out from his eyes and turned into a huge battle sword. It slashed towards Lu Ming with shocking power. Lu Ming squinted his eyes and circulated his power of the world to the maximum. At the same time, a long spear that contained 8 types of laws appeared in his hand. Facing Emo Tianluo, Lu Ming might look casual, but he didn't dare to be careless. Emo Tianluo's fighting strength had already reached the level of a rank 9 true emperor. His current fighting strength was also at the same level as Emo Tianluo. Clang. Lu Ming's long spear expanded and clashed with Emo Tianluo's battle sword. There was a loud clang and the force was rampant. Emo Tianluo's battle sword was destroyed by Lu Ming. At the same time, Lu Ming's figure also retreated a few steps. He blocked it. So strong. The eyes of the people from the heaven world lit up. Lu Ming had blocked Emo Tianluo's attack. This meant that he had the strength to fight. At this moment, although many people were shocked by Lu Ming's fighting strength, they still hoped that Lu Ming could fight with Emo Tianluo and even defeat him. Kill. Seeing that Lu Ming had blocked his attack, Emo Tianluo roared. His third eye continued to shoot out radiance that turned into dozens of battle swords and slashed towards Lu Ming. At the same time, his figure flashed as he charged towards Lu Ming. Chapter 2280. Lu Ming and Emo Tianluo exchanged a blow and retreated. What a strong power. Lu Ming felt his arm going numb. It seemed like he was still at a disadvantage in terms of power after using 8 types of laws. 9 types of laws then. Lu Ming added the life law into the long spear. Buzz. The long spear buzzed and its power increased tremendously. It turned into a sky-piercing spear radiance and pressed down on Emo Tianluo. Kill. Emo Tianluo's palms were sparkling like purple jade as he charged towards Lu Ming. He continuously blasted out and clashed with Lu Ming's spear radiance, causing terrifying explosions. The two of them continuously clashed, and in the blink of an eye, they had exchanged dozens of blows and it was hard to determine the victor. After Lu Ming used 9 types of laws, his combat strength was equivalent to a 9th level true emperor. He was on par with Emo Tianluo and wasn't any weaker. So strong. Lu Ming is so strong. He can definitely fight with Emo Tianluo. Ah, that's right. Who said that the geniuses of the heaven realm are inferior to the foreign races? They just didn't come out previously. Lu Ming created miracles and became an emperor with many types of laws. He will definitely become an unparalleled expert in the future. He is the hope of the heaven realm. Many people were discussing. When these words entered Lan Cheng's ears, his face turned gloomy. His eyes flashed with cold light and no one knew what he was thinking. The battle was still ongoing. Lu Ming and Emo Tianluo fought in the sky and exchanged hundreds of blows. Lose-lose? At this point, Emo Tianluo started to get impatient. The main thing was that Lu Ming's cultivation was too low. He was only an empty emperor and he couldn't even take down an empty emperor. If news of this battle were to spread to the evil god world, he would definitely be suppressed and mocked by the other princes. His attacks became even more violent. It's about time. The corner of Lu Ming's mouth curled into a cold smile. His spear aura suddenly changed and turned into a spinning force. He charged towards Emo Tianluo and completely abandoned his defense. Courting death. Emo Tianluo's eyes lit up as he blasted a palm on Lu Ming. However, he was also swept by Lu Ming's long spear. The two of them were sent flying at the same time, coughing up large mouthfuls of blood. They were seriously injured. However, Lu Ming had the indestructible ancient scripture. He circulated the indestructible ancient scripture, and his injuries quickly healed. Whoosh. Lu Ming charged towards his opponent again. The two of them fought fiercely. Lu Ming didn't care about defense at all, only attacking. He was completely in the position of exchanging injury for injury. The two of them were continuously struck by each other. However, Lu Ming's injuries were quickly recovering while Mo Tianluo's injuries were getting worse and worse. His aura was getting weaker and weaker, and his battle strength was quickly weakening. In the end, he wasn't a match for Lu Ming at all and was being crushed by Lu Ming. Boom! Lu Ming's spear struck Mo Tianluo's body and blasted him into the ground. The ground crumbled and Mo Tianluo's hair was disheveled. He vomited large mouthfuls of blood, and his aura presence was extremely weak. However, Lu Ming didn't stop as he continued to charge at Mo Tianluo. "Senior, help me keep an eye on the enemy's celestial emperor." At the same time, Lu Ming sent a voice transmission to Heavenly Venerate 6 Saints. Mo Tianluo roared as he rushed out of the ground trying to escape. However, Lu Ming caught up with him in an instant and struck him with his spear again. Mo Tianluo's body flew out like a cannonball in the direction of Two World City. "Enough!" A foreign race Heavenly Emperor roared as he stretched out a huge hand, trying to grab Mo Tianluo. However, Heavenly Venerate 6 Saints waved his hand and destroyed the other party's huge hand. "What are you trying to do? Do you want to start a war?" The foreign race Heavenly Emperor roared as he attacked at the same time. However, Heavenly Venerate 6 Saints was stronger and blocked the other party. Meanwhile, Lu Ming had already caught up with Mo Tianluo. At that moment, Mo Tianluo didn't have any strength to fight back. Lu Ming stepped on his body, causing his bones to break inch by inch and his injuries to worsen. Following which, Lu Ming grabbed Mo Tianluo's neck and rushed towards Two World City. "Let go of my race's prince." The foreign race Heavenly Emperors were enraged and attacked at the same time. However, Heavenly Venerate 6 Saints and the other Heavenly Emperors from the Heaven Domain also attacked and blocked the other party's attacks. Then they swept up the Blue Rogue Youth and the others and rushed towards Two World City. After catching up with Lu Ming, Heavenly Venerate 6 Saints swept up Lu Ming and flew towards Two World City. Behind them, the foreign race Heavenly Emperors were furious as they chased after them. However, Heavenly Emperor Heng Yu and the others on top of Two World City attacked and blocked the foreign race Heavenly Emperors. With this block, Heavenly Venerate 6 Saints and the others had already returned to Two World City and landed on top of the city walls. They won. Lu Ming won. At this moment, the gazes of everyone in heaven landed on Lu Ming, exuding a glow of surprise. Their eyes were filled with hope once again. It wasn't that the Heaven Domain's geniuses were inferior, but that the stronger ones hadn't attacked yet. Didn't they see how Lu Ming defeated his opponent the moment he attacked? Moreover, Lu Ming was only an Empty the Arch. If an Empty the Arch was so strong, then how shocking would he be in the future? They saw hope once again. In the future, the Heaven Domain might have a chance to fight with the foreign races or even counterattack. "Hand over my race's prince. Otherwise, I won't leave even a chicken or dog alive." Several foreign race Heavenly Emperors stopped outside Two World City and roared in anger. I'm so scared. Come and attack." "You're talking as if you won't attack if I hand him over." Lu Ming laughed coldly as he held onto Mo Tianluo's neck and stood on top of the city walls. "Kid, you will die very miserably. I swear." Mo Tianluo roared in anger. Bam! Lu Ming lifted Mo Tianluo and smashed him heavily onto the city walls. The city walls of Two World City were refined with special materials and inscribed with countless inscriptions. How hard was it? Mo Tianluo was smashed until he was dizzy. God knows how many bones in his body were broken. Especially his face, it was already beyond recognition. There was no longer the handsome appearance from before. "If you talk any more nonsense, I'll directly pickle you," Lu Ming said coldly. Mo Tianluo shut his mouth. At this moment, the foreign race Heavenly Emperors were furious. They couldn't wait to chop Lu Ming into 8 pieces. Could be said that they hated Lu Ming to the core. This time, their plan was to use the younger generation to attack the Heaven Domain's morale. Originally, their plan had been completed perfectly. The morale of the Heaven Domain's people was many times lower. Unfortunately, at the crucial moment, a Lu Ming appeared and completely ruined their plan. He defeated their geniuses consecutively and restored the Heaven Domain's morale. Even the foreign race's prince had fallen into Lu Ming's hands. The foreign race's prince not only had a noble status, but his talent was also peerless. In the future he would definitely become an unparalleled expert. Nothing must happen to him. "What do you want? Only then will you let my race's prince go?" One of the foreign race Heavenly Emperors spoke. "Originally, I wanted to kill him directly. However, seeing that your attitude is sincere, I can let him go. How about this? Take out 1,000 chaos stones and I'll let him go." Lu Ming demanded an exorbitant price. "What? 1,000 chaos stones? That's impossible. Your appetite is too big. One of the foreign race heavenly emperors roared in anger. 1,000 chaos stones? What a joke. Do you think chaos stones are cabbages? A few pieces are already very precious, let alone 1,000. If you can't take it out, then collect his corpse. Lu Ming said with a cold face. 8,000 chaos stones is too much. It's impossible. Chapter 2281. Alright, then I'll take a step back. 100 chaos stones, no less. Lu Ming pretended to consider for a while and opened his mouth to say, directly dropping from 1,000 to 100. Actually, he was indeed demanding an exorbitant price previously. He was also clear that 1,000 was simply impossible. It was just a bargain. 100 is still too much, lower it a little. A foreign race heavenly emperor still wanted to bargain. Bang. Lu Ming lifted Emotion Luo and smashed him on the city wall again, making Emotion Luo cry out miserably. Alright, 100 it is. We'll go and gather. The foreign race was helpless in the end. Then, a foreign race heavenly emperor returned to the foreign race army to gather chaos stones. I object to using the foreign race prince to exchange for chaos stones. Right at this time, a person stepped out from the heaven realm's side and spoke coldly. Lu Ming looked over. It was Lan Qing. Lan Qing looked around and said to the heaven realm's people, this foreign race prince's talent is too high. If we let him go back, when he grows up in the future he will be a great enemy to us. Such a good opportunity, we must kill him. These words made many people's eyes twinkle. Yes, this foreign race prince's talent was astonishing. Even the top 3 prodigies of the 9 absolutes were not his match. Placed on the heaven realm's side, he could be said to be a prodigy at the top of the pyramid. Such a character, when he grew up in the future, how terrifying would he be? Many people were persuaded by Lan Qing. Lan Qing sneered. Lu Ming wanted to use Emotion Luo to exchange for resources. How could it be so easy? He wanted to stop it. Moreover, killing Emotion Luo, the foreign race would definitely bear a grudge against Lu Ming. To him there were only benefits and no harm. Bullshit, Emotion Luo is Lu Ming's captive. How to deal with him, he has the final say. Others have no right to interfere. Heavenly Emperor Hang Yu walked over and directly cursed. How could he not see through Lan Qing's thoughts? Truly despicable and shameless. Hang Yu, you can't say it like that. Ordinary captives can naturally be dealt with as you wish. But this foreign race prince's talent is too high. It concerns the safety of the heaven realm. We can't deal with him willfully. Lan Qing quibbled, not letting go of the heaven realm's safety. Her. At this moment, Lu Ming sneered, full of mockery. Lan Qing looked at Lu Ming and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Lu Ming, what are you laughing at? I'm laughing at you for being a coward. Lu Ming said. How dare you? Lan Qing was furious. Lu Ming actually dared to say such things to him in front of so many people. How preposterous. I finally understand why the heaven realm lost. Just because there are too many people like you. They don't have any confidence at all. Without confidence, without the belief that they will win, how can they win? If I can defeat this outsider prince today, I'll be able to crush him in the future. Not to mention one outsider prince, even if there were 10 of them, so what? In the future, I can suppress them with a flip of my hand. Since I dared to let him go, I will deal with him myself in the future. Therefore, there is no need for you to worry about him. Lu Ming spoke with great confidence. Ah, that's right. In your eyes, this outsider prince may be a great enemy in the future, but in Lu Ming's eyes, he's just a jumping clown. What are you afraid of? Hang Yu laughed. Who can say for sure what will happen in the future? Lan Qing said with a gloomy face. Since you can't say for sure, why are you still talking nonsense? Maybe I'll kill him tomorrow. Lu Ming sneered, then turned around and ignored Lan Qing. Gotcha. Lan Qing clenched his fists and his eyes were filled with cold killing intent, but he concealed it very well. He was the heavenly emperor and Lu Ming dared to talk to him like that. He was simply courting death. Of course, he didn't think about why Lu Ming had such an attitude. Because of Lan Yun, Lu Ming had been targeted by Lan Qing in all aspects in the Yaoguang ancient city. A dignified heavenly emperor was targeting Lu Ming, a junior, everywhere. Lu Ming couldn't take it anymore and decided not to be nice to Lan Qing. At this time, the outsider heavenly emperor who had gone to gather chaos stones had returned. Here are the chaos stones. Release my prince. The heavenly emperor said. Senior 6 Sacred, I'll have to trouble you. Lu Ming handed the demon sky net to Heavenly Sovereign 6 Sacred. Only Heavenly Sovereign 6 Sacred could make the exchange. If he went, he would definitely be slapped to death. Heavenly Sovereign 6 Sacred nodded, took the demon sky net, and flew out of Two World City. The outsider had no choice but to obediently hand the Chaos Stones to Heavenly Sovereign Six Sacred in exchange for the demon sky net. Heavenly Sovereign Six Sacred returned and handed a storage bracelet to Lu Ming. Lu Ming took a look and saw that there were exactly 100 Chaos Stones in the storage bracelet. Lu Ming was overjoyed. 100 Chaos Gems. This was a huge sum of wealth. He'd fought for more than 2 years in the True Emperor battlefield and had only managed to get 3 Chaos Stones in exchange for alien cores. Now he had suddenly obtained 100 Chaos Stones. With these Chaos Stones, his cultivation level would definitely break through to the True Emperor realm. Many people looked at Lu Ming with burning eyes. There was envy, jealousy, and so on. Take Xin Wulin for example. He had been beaten up by the other party when he fought. However, Lu Ming had won 100 Chaos Stones. The difference was too great. Lan Cheng and the others had gloomy expressions. The more resources Lu Ming had, the faster he would grow. Kid, we have more prodigies here. Let's continue the battle. At this time, a heavenly emperor of a foreign race roared as he stared at Lu Ming. Now that this had happened, the morale of the celestial field had not decreased. Instead, it had increased greatly. The foreign races were the ones with the lowest morale. They were unwilling to accept this and called for even stronger prodigies to fight with Lu Ming to break the morale of the celestial field. I'm not free. Lu Ming's reply was only 2 words. Then he waved his hand and flew back to his residence. With the Chaos Stones in hand, Lu Ming was rushing back to break through. He was not in the mood to fight. Damn it, what other prodigies do the celestial field have? Call them out and fight with our prodigies. The foreign race heavenly emperor roared. I'm not free. This was the answer of heavenly venerate 6 saints. He was not that stupid. Lu Ming had just won a big victory and restored the morale of the celestial field. Why would he be so stupid as to call for a fight? What if he was beaten up and their morale was low? Anyway, they had won a big victory and should stop while they were ahead. The foreign race heavenly emperor was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. He had sent out prodigies to challenge outside Two World City, but the celestial field ignored them. In the end, the foreign race had no choice but to retreat. Their plan this time was completely ruined because of Lu Ming. After Lu Ming returned to his residence, he directly entered the mountain river diagram and took out a pile of origin stones. He devoured the energy of the origin stones and recovered to his peak state. Then he took out a Chaos Stone. He wanted to use the Chaos Stone to break through to the True Emperor realm. Breaking through to the True Emperor realm required a lot of energy, but 100 Chaos Stones were definitely more than enough. After taking a deep breath, 3 streams of Chaos Chi flew out of the Chaos Stone and were sucked into Lu Ming's mouth. Chapter 2282. Once a Void Emperor broke through to the True Emperor realm, the small world would become more stable. Living beings could enter and cultivate in the small world. Naturally, the amount of energy required was shocking. Now, Lu Ming's speed of refining the chaotic aura was much faster than before. He could refine 1 Chaos Stone in 3 days, which was 3 wisps of chaotic aura. After refining one, Lu Ming took out another. A month passed quickly. Lu Ming had refined 10 Chaos Stones, but he still hadn't broken through. Lu Ming continued refining. In the blink of an eye, 3 months passed. The speed at which Lu Ming refined the Chaos Gems was getting faster and faster. In 3 months he had refined over 30 Chaos Stones. Boom. Boom. At this time, Lu Ming's accumulation had reached the peak. His small world rumbled and expanded continuously. In the end, Lu Ming's small world reached a radius of 10,000 li. This area was about the same as the mountain river diagram. Evolve. Lu Ming's thoughts moved. Mountains, rivers, and lakes appeared in his small world. However, there were no living beings. In order to evolve living beings, one had to reach the Emperor realm and control the Grand Tao. At this time, a layer of light spread out from Lu Ming's body. This was the World God Light. The World God Light meant that the small world had completely stabilized and he had stepped into the True Emperor realm. True Emperor realm, I finally broke through. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He felt that his World God Light was 5 to 6 times stronger than before. After refining over 30 Chaos Stones, Lu Ming finally broke through to the True Emperor realm. He was now a 1-star True Emperor. My battle strength should be at the 10th order True Emperor realm. Lu Ming estimated his battle strength. Before his breakthrough, his battle strength was at the 9th order True Emperor realm. However, the increase in battle strength was in many aspects. The most important thing was the laws. However, after breaking through from the Void Emperor realm to the True Emperor realm, his world god light had increased by 5 to 6 times. Therefore, his battle strength had risen to the 10th order True Emperor realm. Normally, it would be difficult for one's combat strength to increase by so much after breaking through a minor level. True Emperors have a total of 18 levels of power. Only peak 7-star cultivators with 9 laws at the 3rd level and powerful abilities are considered the 18th level. However, I don't even need to reach this step to have the combat strength of rank 18. Lu Ming smiled. He was different from the others. His physical strength far exceeded that of ordinary people. Moreover, he had mastered 3 supreme laws while the rest were all monarch laws. If his cultivation reached the peak of 7 stars and his 9 laws reached the 3rd level, his battle prowess would naturally surpass an 18th level True Emperor. I still have over 60 Chaos Gems, but I've just made a breakthrough in my cultivation. I need to consolidate it first before making a breakthrough. Right now, I should focus on cultivating the laws. Lu Ming planned the direction of his future cultivation. When laws reached the 2nd realm, there were also differences in strength. Many of his laws had just broken through to the 2nd realm not long ago and had yet to reach the peak of the 2nd realm. There was still room for improvement. Moreover, there were no bottlenecks. Using the Enlightenment Ancient Tree to comprehend was the best choice. Lu Ming left the mountain river diagram and headed straight for the mature Enlightenment Ancient Tree in Two World City. In the following days, Lu Ming comprehended the laws under the Enlightenment Ancient Tree. Two World City also calmed down. After several strong attacks, the foreign races did not succeed. Instead, they suffered heavy losses. The plan to attack the Heaven Realm's morale did not succeed. During this period of time, they quieted down and did not continue to attack. However, everyone knew that the foreign races would not give up. This was just the calm before the storm. Time flew. In the blink of an eye, another year had passed. In this year, Lu Ming had been comprehending the laws under the mature Enlightenment Ancient Tree. His 9 types of laws advanced by leaps and bounds, progressing rapidly. After breaking through to the 2nd realm, there were no bottlenecks. All the laws were quickly moving towards the peak of the 2nd realm. In a year, at least 6 or 7 laws had reached the peak of the 2nd realm. This allowed Lu Ming's cultivation to increase by another level. Lu Ming estimated that he was now at the 11th level of a true emperor. However, many of his laws had reached a bottleneck. If he wanted to go further, he would reach the 3rd realm. It would be very difficult to break through this through hard work. Lu Ming decided to continue to the true emperor battlefield. Only by killing the foreign races would he be able to break through faster. However, before leaving, Lu Ming returned to his residence and refined another 20 chaos stones. Lu Ming's cultivation reached the 2-star true emperor realm. His cultivation level had broken through 1 level, but his combat strength was still at level 11 true emperor. However, he had reached the peak of level 11 true emperor. With everything ready, Lu Ming quietly left Two World City and headed towards the true emperor battlefield without letting anyone know. Not long after, Lu Ming returned to the true emperor battlefield. The illusory emperor battlefield, true emperor battlefield, and grand emperor battlefield were specially created. If the foreign races wanted to attack Two World City, they wouldn't pass through these battlefields. With my current battle prowess, the periphery of the battlefield is no longer a challenge. Only the core of the battlefield will be challenging. Lu Ming pondered. The experts in the core were all at the 10th level and above. It was the perfect place for Lu Ming to train himself. Lu Ming flew towards the core of the battlefield. If he flew like this, he would definitely be targeted by the foreign tribes. Along the way, he was ambushed by 2 waves of foreign tribe experts. However, the strongest of these experts only had the combat strength of a 9th level true emperor. They were easily killed by Lu Ming and he obtained many crystal cores. When Lu Ming stepped into the core area of the battlefield, he slowed down and retracted his aura, moving forward cautiously. Whoosh! Clang! Not long after, a dazzling red light appeared in front of him. At the same time, the sound of weapons colliding could be heard. Clearly, someone was fighting. Lu Ming used his divine breath art and carefully approached the battlefield. Whoosh! Whoosh! Suddenly, there were 2 beams of rainbow lights in front of him. One after another, they flew toward Lu Ming at high speed. In front of them was a green sword light. The person controlling the sword light was an elder in a green robe. Behind him was a middle-aged man in crimson robes. He had a crimson saber in his hand as he chased after the old man. It was clear that both of them were from the celestial world. Save me. The old man in green robes saw Lu Ming and screamed. However, the middle-aged man in crimson robes suddenly increased his speed and slashed out with his saber. The old man in green robes roared and tried his best to block, but it was useless. The crimson saber broke through his defenses and cut him in half. Whoosh! The middle-aged man in crimson robes rushed over and took the old man's storage ring. He also dug out the old man's world core. Another one so young. You have guts to come to the core of the battlefield at such a young age. Unfortunately for you, you ran into me, Crimson Blade. Consider yourself unlucky. The middle-aged man in crimson robes licked his lips. Chapter 2283. Bloody Swordsman. Lu Ming had heard Bai Tai mention this name before. There was a rule in Two World City that no one from heaven was allowed to kill each other after entering the battlefield. Those who violated this rule would be severely punished. However, there were still those who took the risk to kill Heaven World's creatures for a huge profit. These people usually disguised themselves. They had one identity on the battlefield and another when they returned to Two Realm City. Of course, there was a great risk in doing so. Death was the only way out if they were recognized. Bloody Bladesman was such a person. His battle prowess was rumored to be at the 14th level of a true emperor. Just now, he was hunting the experts of the Heaven Realm and happened to bump into Lu Ming. Now his target was Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming didn't retreat. His eyes were filled with eagerness. His battle prowess was at the peak of the 11th level. He was only one step away from the 12th level. With the indestructible ancient scripture, even a 12th level true emperor would be killed by him. Thus, he wanted to see just how strong a 14th level true emperor was. Even if he couldn't win, Lu Ming still had the fallen star bow and heaven emperor physique. Bloody Swordsman was slightly surprised. He did not expect Lu Ming to not run away after hearing his name. If he didn't run, then he would die. The Bloody Swordsman's figure flashed and he dashed toward Lu Ming like a beam of bloody light. Buzz! In Lu Ming's palm, the magical power, Infinite Dragon Spear appeared. Die! Lu Ming unleashed all his power and stabbed towards Bloody Bladesman. The spear whistled and tore through the void. This was Lu Ming's first time going all out after becoming a true emperor. 11th level battle prowess at such a young age, a 2-star true emperor. He's a peerless genius. Bloody Bladesman was shocked at first, but it was soon replaced by greed. Being at the 11th level of a true emperor at such a young age was terrifying. In his knowledge, only 1 or 2 youths in the entire heaven world had reached this level. Could it be that this youth in front of him was one of the top 2 ranked 9 absolutes? No matter what, this kind of genius was shockingly wealthy. The Blood Bladesman's eyes burned with passion as he slashed his blade at Lu Ming. The blood-colored blade light struck Lu Ming's spear light. Lu Ming's spear light vibrated violently. The wireless dragon spear, which was formed from 9 types of nomological laws, vibrated continuously, as if it was about to be torn apart by the opponent's strength. At the same time, a terrifying saber chi rushed towards Lu Ming. Bang! Lu Ming's body was sent flying. His body was covered with saber wounds and blood flowed out. Lu Ming spat out a large mouthful of blood. He had been heavily injured in one move. The difference between an 11th order true emperor and a 14th order true emperor was too big. An ordinary 11th order true emperor would have died from this move. However, Lu Ming had the indestructible ancient scripture and indestructible golden body. His defense and recovery were terrifying. At this moment, Lu Ming's injuries were recovering rapidly. The saber wound was healing rapidly. He's not dead. The Blood Bladesman was shocked. An 11th order true emperor was still alive after taking one of his moves. This was beyond his imagination. Wait. The Bloody Bladesman's eyes widened in astonishment. He recalled the move he had just exchanged with Lu Ming. He felt that Lu Ming's abilities contained 9 types of laws. 3 of them were supreme laws. To think that a single person could control 3 supreme laws. He had stayed in the true emperor battlefield for dozens of years and had never heard of Lu Ming's name. Naturally, he was shocked. However, after the initial shock, a blazing flame appeared. Brat, hand over your cultivation method. The Blood Bladesman's eyes were filled with greed as he charged at Lu Ming. He thought that Lu Ming had relied on an ancient scripture to cultivate 3 supreme laws. If he could obtain it, wouldn't he be able to dominate the world? He had to obtain it. Die. Lu Ming's injuries were mostly healed now. He held his spear and charged at the Blood Bladesman. Boom. The 2 of them exchanged another blow. Lu Ming retreated madly and was seriously injured again. However, Lu Ming's eyes were exceptionally bright. This was a true battle of life and death. He could feel the aura of death in each move against the Blood Bladesman. However, this allowed him to condense his mind to the extreme. His potential was also stimulated to the extreme. He could feel that his usage of laws was constantly deepening. What kind of monster is this? His recovery ability is so frightening. Even the law of life can't have such an effect. I'll cripple this brat and search his soul. The Blood Blades man roared in his heart. He didn't give Lu Ming a chance to recover and charged at Lu Ming again. Whoosh! Lu Ming stabbed out with his spear. This spear had reached the peak of its power. Clang! The spear clashed with the Blood Bladesman's blade, but the result was still Lu Ming being pushed back. His body was covered in blade wounds. The Blood Blades man continued to attack Lu Ming. Before Lu Ming could recover, he was sent flying again. This time his injuries were even more severe. Brat, no matter how strong your recovery ability is, you're still going to die. The Blood Blades man said savagely. It's about time. Lu Ming muttered. If the battle continued, he would be at a disadvantage. Even with the indestructible ancient scripture, he would still be killed. Retreat for now. Buzz. A pair of transparent wings suddenly appeared behind Lu Ming's back. With a flap, Lu Ming's figure quickly retreated and then turned around to leave. Stay. The Blood Blades man was unwilling to give up. He chased after Lu Ming crazily. However, the six-feathered godly wings was Dandan's most prized ability. Once it was used, its speed was astonishing. Even if Lu Ming's cultivation was relatively low, his speed was still faster than the Blood Bladesman's. Lu Ming quickly left. The distance between him and the Blood Blades man was getting farther and farther. Damn it. After chasing for a while, the Blood Blades man saw that he couldn't catch up. He roared and stopped. In the end, the Blood Blades man could only helplessly turn around and leave. Not far away, Lu Ming also stopped. The injuries on his body were quickly recovering. At this time he had already recovered 30%. The speed was shocking. No wonder the indestructible ancient scripture was called one of the strongest scriptures in the heaven world. It was not without reason. Its life-saving ability was too strong. This Blood Blades man is a rare training target. I can't let him go like this. Lu Ming thought. Then he restrained his aura and used the six-feathered godly wings. He quietly followed the Blood Blades man along the ground. Lu Ming was very careful. He used the objects on the ground as cover and completely restrained his aura. Plus, the Blood Blades man didn't expect Lu Ming to be so bold as to follow him. Therefore he didn't notice Lu Ming at all. After a while, the Blood Blades man came to a hidden cave and walked in. Lu Ming found a place nearby and hid himself. He circulated his energy to heal his injuries. Chapter 2284. My laws have improved again. This Blood Blades man is actually proficient in the death laws, array laws and devour laws. Lu Ming's eyes shone brightly. The Blood Blades man was definitely a very suitable training target. Among the rules that he mastered, 3 of them were the same as Lu Ming's. Although the battle with the Blood Blades man was short, it had greatly affected Lu Ming, especially since the Blood Blades man had 3 of the same laws as Lu Ming. After exchanging blows with the Blood Blades man, Lu Ming's comprehension of the 3 laws became even faster. Lu Ming would not let the Blood Blades man off so easily. Lu Ming stayed there, comprehending the laws and digesting what he had gained from the previous battle. 2 days later, Lu Ming ended his cultivation. Let's continue the battle. Lu Ming muttered and charged towards the cave where the Blood Blades man resided. Whoosh! From far away, a spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand and he thrust it out. A huge spear light as large as a mountain pierced towards the cave. That cave directly exploded into pieces. Who? A furious roar sounded as the Blood Blades man soared into the sky. Boundless blood light burst forth and shattered the mountain. Then he saw Lu Ming. Brat, I didn't look for you, but you actually came to me. You're courting death. Die. The Blood Blades man roared and charged towards Lu Ming. Boom, boom, boom. The two exchanged a few blows. Just like before, Lu Ming was not a match for the Blood Blades man. He was completely suppressed and heavily injured. The 3rd level of the death loss. So that's how it is. Ah. Lu Ming laughed in his heart. During the battle with the Blood Blades man, Lu Ming had gained some inspiration from his opponent's death laws. He felt that there was hope for a breakthrough. Blood Blades man, I won't fight today. Let's fight another day. Lu Ming laughed and used the 6-feathered divine wings to fly into the distance. The Blood Blades man roared and chased, but after chasing for a while he could only helplessly stop. This brat's ability to protect himself is too strong, and his speed is too fast. Unless I severely injure him to the point where he can't fight back, it will be very difficult to kill him. Blood Blade Wielder gritted his teeth and left in a flash. This time, Bloody Blades man kept changing his position because he was afraid that Lu Ming would secretly follow him. He had guessed correctly. Lu Ming had indeed followed them, and Bloody Dagger Hand had not noticed at all. Bloody Swordsman was very familiar with the core of the battlefield. After running for a while, he looked around but didn't see Lu Ming, so he hid in a secret place. Lu Ming began cultivating not far away. He left a thread of consciousness to observe Blood Blade Hand's movements. The majority of his consciousness was used to comprehend laws. His comprehension of the law of death continued to deepen. Finally, a few days later, the law of death made a breakthrough. It broke through the limit and stepped into the third level of the law of death. This was the apex of the laws, the limit of the laws. With this breakthrough, Lu Ming's battle prowess soared. This was the strongest law. The increase in combat strength was especially shocking. Lu Ming's combat strength had reached the peak of a level 12 true emperor. His combat strength had increased by 1 level. Good. Lu Ming smiled. Just as he was about to continue fighting with Blood Blade Hand, he saw a figure flash out. It was Blood Blade Hand. Blood Blade Hand looked around for a bit before leaving in a certain direction. Lu Ming secretly followed him. Not long after, Lu Ming saw Blood Blade Hand hiding on top of a mountain. Then he saw a figure flying over from the distance. It was a creature from Celestial World. This guy wanted to kill another creature from Celestial World. Whoosh! The Blood Blade Hand made his move. A blade light burst out and slashed at the creature. The creature from Celestial World was shocked and turned into a tiger. It roared and spat out a beam of light from its mouth. However, this tiger only had the battle prowess of a 12th level true emperor. It was no match for Blood Blade Hand. The saber ray slammed into the tiger's body and sent it flying. It was covered in wounds and could no longer fight. Blood Blade Hand. The tiger roared, full of despair. Die. Blood Blade Hand snarled. Blood Blade Hand, your opponent is me. At this time, Lu Ming also rushed out and stabbed with his spear. A terrifying spear ray shot towards Blood Blade Hand. Blood Blade Hand couldn't kill the tiger in time and could only turn around to slash at Lu Ming. Boom. The spear ray was dispersed and Lu Ming's attack was blocked. The spear vibrated continuously. Brat, it's you again. Your battle prowess. Blood Blade Hand was shocked. He found that Lu Ming's battle prowess had increased by a lot. Blood Blade Hand, our battle isn't over yet. Let's continue. Lu Ming dashed forward and fought with the Bloody Swordsman. Senior, leave quickly. Lu Ming transmitted his voice to the tiger at the same time. Young friend, thank you. The ferocious tiger thanked Lu Ming and then turned to leave. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming and Blood Blade Hand had exchanged more than 10 moves. Lu Ming was still no match for Blood Blade Hand, but he was much better than before. Lu Ming was completely at a disadvantage and was injured, but it wasn't serious. He could barely resist. Lu Ming did his best to fight with Blood Blade Hand. Boom. Boom. The two exchanged more than 20 moves and Lu Ming finally retreated with serious injuries. Let's go. Lu Ming used his 6-feathered divine wings and turned around. His speed was faster than before and Blood Blade Hand couldn't catch up. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Blood Blade Hand was furious and roared again and again. He was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. He knew that he was targeted by Lu Ming and couldn't get rid of him. If he had known earlier, he wouldn't have attacked Lu Ming. He regretted it. Next, no matter what Blood Blade Hand thought of, he couldn't get rid of Lu Ming. Every once in a while, Lu Ming would look for him and have a big fight with him. However, he did not dare to leave the battlefield and return to the Two-World City. This was because Lu Ming had been keeping an eye on him. He was afraid that when he returned to the Two-World City, Lu Ming would report him and he would die without a burial ground. Just like that, half a year passed. In this half a year, Lu Ming and Blood Blade Hand fought more than 10 times. Lu Ming's improvement was astonishing. Bloody Swordsman was really the best demonic refined stone. Its combat ability was slightly higher than Lu Ming's but not by much. Every time Lu Ming could go all out in the battle. In this half a year, Lu Ming's Law of Devour and Array Dao broke through to the 3rd level. The 2 Monarch Dao laws made Lu Ming's battle strength soar to the 13th level of a true emperor. It's time to end him. At this time, Lu Ming decided to deal with Blood Blade Hand. Boom. Lu Ming caught up with the Bloody Swordsman and launched an attack. Brat, let's die together. Blood Blade Hand was about to go crazy and attacked Lu Ming crazily. But now, Lu Ming's battle strength was only 1 level lower than Blood Blade Hand. He didn't fear him at all. Lu Ming used a method where both sides would suffer. In the end, he dealt a heavy blow to the Bloody Swordsman while his own injuries recovered rapidly. I'll send you on your way. Chapter 2285. In the end, Lu Ming's spear pierced through his head and extinguished his soul. Since you accompanied me for half a year, I won't take your world core. After taking away the storage ring of the bloody bladesman, he struck his palm and blasted a big hole in the ground, burying the corpse of the bloody bladesman in the hole. This could be considered as repaying his kindness of being a sparring partner for half a year and allowing Lu Ming's combat ability to rise by 2 levels. Lu Ming's figure flashed and he left the place. Soon after, Lu Ming came to a secret place. He took out the storage ring of bloody bladesman and checked it. This guy has a lot of resources. Lu Ming discovered that there were at least 100 alien race crystal cores in the storage ring. They were all true Emperor-level alien race crystal cores. There were also dozens of world cores. Let's cultivate for a while. Lu Ming planned to increase his cultivation. 3 of his 9 laws were at the 3rd level while the other 6 were at the peak of the 2nd level. It was time to increase his cultivation. However, Lu Ming didn't take out the Chaos Stones to cultivate. Instead, he took out the World Core and refined it. After erasing the laws on the World Core, Lu Ming began to refine it. Just as Lu Ming was refining the heart of the world and improving his cultivation level, in Two World City, Lan Qing and the experts of the Lan clan were having a discussion. Lu Ming entered the true Emperor battlefield again. Are you sure? Lan Qing asked an old man from the Lan clan. I'm sure. Moreover, Lu Ming has been fighting with Blood Bladesman recently. The old man said. Blood Bladesman? What's his strength? Lan Qing asked. I heard that he has the strength of a 14th level true Emperor. The old man said. What? A 14th level true Emperor? Lu Ming can fight a 14th level true Emperor? His improvement is too fast. It must be the indestructible ancient scripture. Lan Qing was shocked. Greed flashed in his eyes. Pass down my order. If any experts of the Lan clan see Lu Ming in the true Emperor battlefield, kill him and take the indestructible ancient scripture from his soul. Lan Qing said with a dark expression. Heaven Emperor, if news of this gets out, will be targeted by other experts. The old man from the Lan clan said. Then don't let anyone know. Do it secretly. Also contact the Yen clan. We'll work together. Lan Qing ordered. Lu Ming refined dozens of world cores one after another. Lu Ming's minor world expanded once again. Rumble. Lu Ming's small world became bigger and bigger. In the end, it expanded to a radius of 300,000 miles before it stopped. When he had just broken through, the size of his little world was 100,000 miles wide. With each subsequent breakthrough, the size of his little world would increase by another 100,000 miles. When Lu Ming was a 2-star true emperor, his minor world had a radius of 200,000 miles. Now that Lu Ming had refined a large number of world cores, his minor world had expanded to a radius of 300,000 miles. Lu Ming's battle prowess had also improved, barely reaching the strength of a 14th level true emperor. He barely had the strength of a 14th order true emperor, which was considered weak among the 14th order true emperors. Lu Ming didn't stop there. He took out a chaos stone and continued to absorb chaos energy. After refining 5 chaos stones in a row, Lu Ming's cultivation reached peak 3-star true emperor. At this stage, Lu Ming continued to refine a few chaos gems before stopping. He wanted to break through to 4-star true emperor in one go, but he found that it wasn't feasible. 4-star true emperor was a high-level true emperor. He needed time to consolidate his foundation or he wouldn't be able to break through this barrier. Right now, my battle prowess has reached 14th level true emperor. With the fallen star bow, I should be able to protect myself in the core area. I'll go out and hunt some foreign races. Lu Ming pondered. Only through fighting and killing could one improve very quickly. If Lu Ming didn't fight here and instead cultivated in Two World City, he wouldn't have improved so much even if he stayed under the Tao Comprehension Tree every day. Lu Ming left this place and began to wander around the core area of the true Emperor realm, looking for the alien race. At this time, a piece of news spread across the battlefield. The entrance to a minor world had appeared somewhere in the battlefield. It was speculated that this minor world had been floating in the void for a long time. It coincidentally connected with this area and the entrance appeared. A minor world that could float in the void for so long was at least a peak Grand Emperor's minor world or even a Heavenly Emperor's. Otherwise, it would have collapsed after so many years. Only a small world condensed by an extremely powerful existence could float in the eternal void for so many years and still exist. If it was a small world left behind by a Heavenly Emperor realm powerhouse, it was very likely to be priceless, having supreme treasures. Everyone in the battlefield was startled by this news and began searching for the entrance. Even the true emperors on the periphery of the battlefield were looking for companions to try their luck. Bai Tai also contacted a few powerful true emperors and headed towards the core area. The Lan family, the Yen family, and the other major forces also sent many powerful forces to search for the entrance to the small world. In the middle of a mountain range there was a huge expanse of land. The entrance to the small world was in this area. But now, a large number of outsider experts were hiding in the vicinity of the plate. Let's use this chance to kill the celestial world's experts, a foreign race expert said coldly. They found the minor world's entrance earlier but didn't go in to investigate. Instead, they waited for the celestial world's experts to come and kill them one by one. The battlefield was filled with murderous intent and undercurrents. Lu Ming didn't know any of this. He hid his aura and wandered around the core area. After several days of searching, he didn't see a single foreign expert. However, he did see a few celestial world experts. They were all in a hurry, seemingly looking for something. One day, Lu Ming arrived at a mountain range. At this point, Lu Ming stopped in his tracks. This was because he sensed a mysterious fluctuation in the space ahead. This fluctuation is similar to the spatial fluctuation of a minor world's entrance. Is there an entrance to a minor world here? Let's go take a look. Lu Ming was bold enough to fly towards the mountain range. He had the fallen star bow and a celestial emperor's body. Lu Ming flew into the mountains. Naturally, he was discovered by the foreign tribes lying in ambush here. It's a human from celestial world. Why is there only one? Only one? Fine, let's kill him first to avoid alerting the enemy. They immediately sent out an expert to kill Lu Ming. Lu Ming was flying when all of a sudden, a beam of light dashed toward him at high speed. A black axe gleam was charging toward Lu Ming. It's a foreign level 12. Chapter 2286. It was a burly being from the evil god tribe. He had 3 eyes and they were filled with killing intent. Die. Lu Ming formed a spear in his hand and thrust it forward. The spear light shattered the enemy's axe light and pierced through the enemy's forehead. Instant kill. Following that, Lin Fan used his power of the realm to retrieve the enemy's storage bracelet and dug out the enemy's crystal core. Damn it, this person has the combat strength of a 14th level true emperor. One of the foreign races who was lying in ambush roared. Initially, they thought that Lu Ming's combat strength wouldn't be that high since he was so young. They thought that a 12th level true emperor would be able to deal with him easily. However, they didn't expect that Lu Ming would be able to deal with him so easily. Send more people to kill this person. Hurry up, don't let the others from the heaven world find out. One of the foreign races ordered. All of a sudden, some members of the alien race charged toward Lu Ming. This time there were 6 of them. There's more. Lu Ming squinted his eyes. The 6 of them unleashed their terrifying auras and charged towards Lu Ming. 6 rays of destruction shot towards Lu Ming from a distance. Whoosh, whoosh. Lu Ming brandished his long spear and shot out beams of spear gleams toward the light of destruction of the alien race. Boom, boom, boom. After a series of collisions, Lu Ming's body shook violently and he was forced to retreat. 2 15th level true emperors and 4 14th level true emperors. Lu Ming's heart stirred as he judged the other party's ability. This lineup was more than enough to deal with a 14th level true emperor. However, their opponent was Lu Ming. Although Lu Ming was injured, his injuries were recovering rapidly. It was not a big deal. Die. The 6 of them charged towards Lu Ming. They attacked Lu Ming with all sorts of attacks. Come on. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with battle intent as he charged towards them with his spear. Both sides kept clashing and fighting fiercely. Although Lu Ming was at a disadvantage, it was impossible for the outsiders to kill him immediately. After more than 10 moves, Lu Ming risked being injured and killed a 14th level true emperor with a single strike of his spear. Damn it, how can the humans of the heaven realm be so strong? Their vitality is unbelievably tenacious. Some of the outsiders who were lying in ambush let out enraged howls, and more outsiders charged out. This time, more than 10 foreign races joined the fray. The strongest among them was a 16th order true emperor. So many? Could it be that this is the home of the non-humans? Lu Ming's gaze was solemn. There were so many alien races and one of them was a 16th level true emperor. Lu Ming was obviously not their match. Boom. Lu Ming knocked back a 14th stage fighter with a single spear strike. Then, his figure charged forward with extreme speed. At the same time, the fallen star bow appeared in his hand. Lu Ming pulled the fallen star bow and 9 9-colored arrows flew out, aiming at a level 15 true emperor of a foreign race. Bang! The outsider was instantly killed in mid-air. Lu Ming drew his bow continuously. The bowstring vibrated and several arrows flew out. Each arrow could kill a member of the foreign race. Damn it! The outsiders who were lying in ambush couldn't sit still anymore. A few of them were even more terrifying. Charge out and kill this person. Howling, one of the outsider chieftains charged out in attack. This time, more than 200 outsiders charged out from the mountains. Each of them had the combat strength of a 10th order true emperor. The strongest among them had the combat strength of a 17th order true emperor. So many. Lu Ming's expression changed. Hundreds of outsiders with the combat strength of a 10th order true emperor couldn't be a coincidence. They had been lying in ambush for a long time. Even though Lu Ming didn't know what was going on, he knew that he was unlucky to have walked into an ambush. Hundreds of foreign clans, all of whom were at least at the 10th level true emperor realm, charged toward Lu Ming from all directions, causing the entire void to shake. It was as though there were tens of thousands of soldiers and horses. Kill him. One of the outsiders shouted. He had the appearance of a human with purple hair. He was a member of the royal race. Whoosh, whoosh. Several rays of destructive light shot out, causing the space around them to tremble. A stone sword appeared in Lu Ming's hand. At the same time, the Heavenly Emperor's body appeared and floated in front of Lu Ming. Lu Ming took a step forward and merged with the Heavenly Emperor's body. In the face of so many powerful figures from foreign tribes, Lu Ming was no match for them at all. He might be drowned in the attacks of so many foreign tribes in an instant and be blown up by so many attacks. He could only use the Heavenly Emperor's body. Whoosh. Controlling the Heavenly Emperor's body, Lu Ming slashed out with his sword. A beam of sword chi shot out, piercing through the clouds and slicing through the attacks of the outsiders, heading straight for a group of outsiders. Several outsiders with the combat strength of a 10th order true emperor were cleaved in half by the sword chi and died on the spot. At this time, a group of people appeared not far from where they were. They were experts from the Lan and Yen families. There were dozens of them in total and there was no lack of true emperors among them. The experts from the Lan and Yen families were naturally looking for the entrance to the lesser world. They saw the boundless sword chi from afar. There are experts fighting up ahead. What terrifying power. Be careful. An expert from the Lan family whispered. They immediately retracted their auras and flew forward carefully. They landed on a mountain peak and looked ahead. They saw Lu Ming controlling the Heavenly Emperor's body to fight against the outsiders. Of course, they didn't recognize Lu Ming because he had merged with the Heavenly Emperor's body. They were almost scared to death when they saw so many outsiders. There are strange spatial fluctuations up ahead. Is the entrance to the lesser world here? Could it be that these foreign races are lying in ambush here, trying to kill the experts of the Heaven Realm? The Lan and Yen families easily thought of the key point. Their faces turned pale at the thought of it. They knew that someone had broken in first. Otherwise they would be finished. Who is that giant stone man? It's so strong. It should be a puppet. The experts from the Lan and Yen families whispered among themselves. At this time Lu Ming killed a few more outsiders. This enraged the outsiders. Attack together. Attack together. The outsider royal roared. All the outsiders attacked. Hundreds of attacks were directed at Lu Ming. So many attacks were unleashed by 10th order true emperors and above. Ordinary emperors wouldn't dare to take them head-on and would only be able to dodge. However, the Heavenly Emperor's body was made of stone and was extremely tough. Even emperors couldn't penetrate it, let alone true emperors. Lu Ming ignored the attacks and charged at the outsiders with the Heavenly Emperor's sword. Kill. Chapter 2287. Lu Ming killed 3 members of the foreign race with one stroke of his sword. Thereafter, his combat sword slashed horizontally, killing another 2 members of the foreign race. The attacks of the hundreds of foreign races landed on the Heaven Emperor's body, causing a series of explosions. However, the Heaven Emperor's body was completely fine. On the other hand, Lu Ming's combat sword did not stop slashing. A gigantic sword ray the size of a mountain swept across the sky with shocking power. Over the years, Lu Ming would occasionally take the time to fuse the energy crystals he obtained from the outsiders into Heaven Emperor's body. Heaven Emperor's body was close to 30% of its energy. Boom, boom, boom. Under the pressure of the gigantic sword ray, the outsiders exploded and died on the spot. In a few breaths, dozens of outsiders were killed. No matter how strong they were, they couldn't stop one of Lu Ming's moves. Close to 30% of the Celestial Emperor's physical body's energy erupted. Even an ordinary one-star Great Emperor would be in danger and could be killed by Lu Ming, let alone a true emperor. 18 true emperors were only equivalent to true emperors. Even the strongest 18th level true emperor would only be a peak true emperor. They would be instantly killed by a great emperor. Therefore, no matter what level one's combat level was, when faced with Lu Ming, there was only one outcome, and that was to be killed instantly. No one was his match. Kill? Lu Ming shouted. He was like a tiger in a flock of sheep. His sword slashed out non-stop, taking the lives of several outsiders with each slash. In less than a minute, more than 100 of the 200 outsiders died under Lu Ming's sword. Run, run. The remaining outsiders finally began to panic. Howling in terror, they turned and fled. Kill? Lu Ming had his eyes on the outsider royal. The number of outsiders was pitifully small, but each of them was shockingly talented. Once they reached adulthood, they would have terrifying battle prowess. The geniuses among them were even more terrifying. Since he saw them, he couldn't let them go. Lu Ming chased after that member of the foreign clan. Stop him. A look of terror appeared on the outsider's face as he ran for his life, ordering the other outsiders to stop Lu Ming. Among the outsiders, the hierarchy was extremely strict. The status of royalty was very precious. The ordinary people of the evil god race, as well as the nobles, had to listen to the royalty unconditionally. In the face of danger, they had to stand in front of the royal family unconditionally. Otherwise, there would be a great disaster. At this point, even though the rest of the strange humans were terrified, they still charged towards Lu Ming. Among them, there was no lack of 17th level true emperors. Kill? Lu Ming showed no mercy at all as he charged forward, slashing out with his battle sword and slaughtering outsiders one by one. One of them was a 17th level true emperor. A 17th level true emperor was the pinnacle of the battlefield. Most of them were at the peak of the true emperor realm, preparing to break through to the grand emperor realm. Lu Ming was invincible among the true emperors when he controlled the celestial emperor's physical body. Lu Ming rushed past them and killed dozens of true emperors before dashing toward the royal member of the foreign race. The outsider screamed in terror as the sword slashed down, but he was still cut in half. Run. The other outsiders scattered in all directions. Lu Ming stopped and didn't continue the chase. The intense battle just now had consumed a lot of energy from his physical body. These outsiders were all at the 10th order true emperor realm. It seemed easy for Lu Ming to kill them, but it took a lot of energy. After killing more than 100 of them, the energy in Heaven Emperor's body was almost depleted. Killing so many true emperors wasn't as easy as fighting a one-star great emperor. At this point, the energy in Heaven Emperor's body was almost depleted. After the alien race fled far away, Lu Ming appeared and put away the Celestial Emperor's body. Looks like there's an entrance to a minor world here. These outsiders must be here to ambush the inhabitants of the Celestial world. Lu Ming thought about it and guessed what the outsiders were planning. At this time, the Lan and Yen clan's eyes widened in shock. Lu Ming, it's that Lu Ming. It's him, he has such a terrifying puppet. The Lan and Yen clan's faces turned pale. They were ordered to kill Lu Ming if they had the chance in the true emperor battlefield. However, Lu Ming actually had such a powerful puppet. This made them shudder. If they were to attack Lu Ming, they would only have a dead end. No, there must be conditions to control such a powerful puppet. It can't be that easy. He didn't chase after the outsiders when they escaped. That doesn't seem like him. Could it be that the puppet can't be used anymore? Controlling the puppet requires energy and it can be used up. The Lan and Yen clans discussed in secret. Some of them had lived for hundreds of thousands of years, some even millions of years. They were all old foxes and had a rough idea of what was going on. Their eyes lit up, filled with cold murderous intent. This was an excellent opportunity. If Lu Ming's puppet couldn't be controlled, it would be best to kill Lu Ming. Fight. The experts of the Lan and Yen families had resolute looks in their eyes. Their superiors had ordered them to find a chance to kill Lu Ming and take the indestructible ancient scripture from Lu Ming's soul. If they could accomplish this task, they would be rewarded handsomely. Now that there was no one from the celestial world around and Lu Ming's puppet couldn't be used, it was the best time to strike. Kill Lu Ming. The leading powerhouse of the Lan family transmitted a message to everyone and then rushed out. The others also rushed out after him. Beams of rainbow lights dashed toward Lu Ming at high speed. Lu Ming was about to head toward the small world when he suddenly saw dozens of people flying toward him. He could not help but be stunned. He didn't recognize that they were from the Lan and Yen clans. The Lan and Yen clans didn't have any special symbols, and these people were all true emperors. Lu Ming had never seen them before. He thought that they were just ordinary people from the celestial world. Are these people also here for the small world? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Whoosh! Whoosh! The Lan and Yen clans stopped not far from Lu Ming and didn't attack immediately. They were still wary of Lu Ming's methods. You are Lu Ming? The leader of the Lan family pretended that he had just recognized Lu Ming and asked with a surprised expression. That's me. May I know why you are here? Lu Ming asked. My name is Wuxia. The Lan clan's leader smiled and walked towards Lu Ming. Recently, there has been a rumor about a small world floating in the eternal void that is connected to the true emperor battlefield. Many people have come, Brother Lu, you must be here for this small world. Chapter 2288. It really is a small world. Lu Ming's heart stirred, but his expression did not change. That's right. I'm also here for the small world. The leader of the Lan clan glanced at the alien corpses and said, So many alien corpses, did Brother Lu kill them all? He pretended not to see the corpses because he wanted to test Lu Ming. No, I just got here too. Lu Ming said. Oh, could it be that someone has already entered the small world before us? Let's go in then. The leader of the Lan clan pretended to be shocked and moved closer to Lu Ming. At this moment, a terrifying ray of light burst forth from the hands of the leader of the Lan family and charged toward Lu Ming. The two were very close to each other. If Lu Ming wasn't prepared, he wouldn't be able to dodge it. However, just as the leader of the Lan family attacked, the six-feathered wings suddenly appeared on Lu Ming's back. In a flash, Lu Ming's figure flew away at high speed, avoiding the other party's attack. The expression of the leader of the Lan family changed. His face darkened as he stared at Lu Ming. How did you find out? You're good at disguising yourself, but the others aren't as good. Did you think I wouldn't notice when someone tried to kill me? Who are you? Lu Ming's expression darkened. If not for his extremely sharp spiritual sense and the strong murderous intent of some people from the Lan family and the Yen family, Lu Ming would have sensed it despite their best efforts to conceal it. Hence, he would have been on guard. So what if you found out? You're still going to die today. The leader of the Lan family hollered. He no longer held back and unleashed his full power. He charged toward Lu Ming, displaying his terrifying combat power. 17th level of True Emperor. Lu Ming's expression changed. Lu Ming might have reached the 14th level of True Emperor, but he was still far from being a match for a 17th level True Emperor. Moreover, there were others. The other members of the Lan clan and Yen clan attacked as well. Each of them had the strength of a 10th order True Emperor. If the Heavenly Emperor's body was still around, these people wouldn't be a threat at all. However, Lu Ming was no match for them now. Lu Ming used his six-feathered wings and retreated to avoid the attacks. At the same time, the fallen star bow appeared in his hand. Where do you think you're going? Attacks tore through the void and flew towards Lu Ming. You're from the Lan clan and Yen clan? Lu Ming shouted. As soon as the other party made a move, he could not hide his unique skills at all. Lu Ming recognized him. As he had a feud with the Lan family and the Yen family, Lu Ming had specially studied the ancient scriptures and magical skills of these two families. Therefore, he could recognize them at one glance. Kill. The Lan clan and Yen clan's members were filled Lu Ming. Bus. As Lu Ming retreated, he pulled the fallen star bow. Whoosh. An arrow shot out, flying with extreme speed, tearing through the void like a star. An expert of the Lan family with a combat strength of a 15th level True Emperor was killed by Lu Ming. Damn it. The leader of the Lan family yelled and increased his speed to the maximum. It was as if he was shuttling through the void. He was as fast as Lu Ming's six-feathered divine wings. There was also someone from the Yen clan who had the strength of a 17th order True Emperor. He cooperated with the leader from the Lan clan and charged at Lu Ming from both sides. They quickly closed in on Lu Ming. Whoosh, whoosh. Lu Ming drew his bow and shot two 9-colored arrows at the two level 17 True Emperors. However, the two level 17 True Emperors were too powerful and they managed to block the arrows. Only their bodies were affected. How can a 17th order True Emperor be so strong? Lu Ming's expression turned solemn. Lu Ming, you're going to die today. Hand over the indestructible ancient scripture and your own scripture and we'll give you a quick death. The leader of the Lan clan said coldly. However, at this moment his expression changed. The others from the Lan clan and Yen clan were startled as well. Rainbow lights flashed in the distance. Someone was coming. The Lan family and the Yin family couldn't help but stop. There was a rule in heaven that forbade them from killing each other on the battlefield. If they violated this rule, even the Lan clan and Yin clan would be punished. The light receded, and a total of 6 people appeared not too far away. Lu Ming. A voice sounded. Senior Bai Tai. Lu Ming was surprised. He didn't expect Bai Tai to be one of them. Wasn't Bai Tai supposed to be at the periphery of the battlefield? Why was he at the core of the battlefield? Is it because of that small world? Lu Ming thought. Everyone, what's going on? Bai Tai looked at the Lan clan and Yin clan. They seemed to have seen someone fighting from afar. Bai Tai and the others looked at the corpse of the alien race and their expressions changed. Could it be that the Lan clan and Yin clan were fighting with the alien race? The leader of the Lan clan had a gloomy expression. Murderous intent flashed in his eyes. Attack, kill them all. The leader of the Lan clan sent a message to the others. The others' expressions changed. If word got out that they killed their own people on the battlefield, the Lan clan and Yin clan wouldn't be able to protect them. However, there was no one else present. They just had to silence them. Attack. The leader of the Lan clan sent a message. Not good, Senior Bai Tai, run. At this moment, Lu Ming hollered. He could sense the murderous aura emanating from the Lan family. These people were actually audacious enough to want to kill Bai Tai and the others. Lu Ming roared and dashed toward Bai Tai at lightning speed. However, the 17th level true emperor from the Yin clan was already attacking Bai Tai. At the same time, the leader of the Lan family charged toward Lu Ming and launched several attacks. Lu Ming could only try his best to dodge. Bai Tai was shocked. He didn't expect the Lan clan and Yin clan to suddenly attack them. Bai Tai's battle prowess was only at the 7th order true emperor realm. He was no match for Huang Xiaolong. His heart was pierced by Huang Xiaolong's attack and his body exploded. Senior Bai Tai. Lu Ming's eyes turned red. He was filled with murderous intent. He and Bai Tai had worked together to hunt the alien races for 2 years. They had fought dozens of battles and formed a deep friendship. Bai Tai and his ancestors had all died in the hands of the pagans. His biggest wish in his life was to hunt down the pagans. He had no other thoughts. At the same time, he knew that his talent was limited. When he was hunting foreign tribes, he would intentionally give Lu Ming more heart of the world so that Lu Ming could improve faster. He was a respectable elder who had spent his life hunting the alien races. But now he was killed by the greed of the Lan clan and Yin clan. Lu Ming's heart was filled with murderous intent. He wanted nothing more than to kill everyone from the Lan clan and Yin clan. Lan clan, you won't have a good death. The people who came with Bai Tai were also all killed. Lu Ming, no one can save you. Die. The leader of the Lan clan continued to attack Lu Ming. Chapter 2289. The members of the Lan family and the Yin family flew toward Lu Ming together, forming an encirclement, wanting to surround Lu Ming. However, at this moment, the people from the Lan and Yin family changed their expressions. This was because they could vaguely see a rainbow light flashing in the distance. Obviously, more people were coming. This time, there were dozens of people, which was more than the Lan and Yin families. Damn it! The Lan and Yin families shouted. If they had more time, they would be able to kill Lu Ming. However, they did not expect more people to come. Quick, put away the alien corpses. Quick! The leader of the Lan family shouted. He abandoned Lu Ming and quickly put away the alien corpses. The other people from the Lan and Yin families did not know what was going on, but they did as they were told. They put away all the alien corpses, leaving only the corpses of those who came with Bai Tai. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. A rainbow light flashed and dozens of people appeared in the sky. They were all living beings from the heaven realm. Some of them were extremely powerful. What's going on? The people who came later glanced at the corpses of Bai Tai and the others. Their eyes flashed. Everyone, Lu Ming is too daring. He wants to kill people from the heaven realm. We happened to find him and were about to take him down. The leader of the Lan family was the first to shout, directly accusing Lu Ming of killing Bai Tai and the rest. What? Lu Ming, how dare you? The people from the heaven realm looked at Lu Ming with anger in their eyes. Ha ha ha. Lu Ming laughed angrily and said, the Lan and Yin families wanted to kill me and steal the indestructible ancient scripture. When others saw it, they killed them. Now they dare to slander me. What a joke. Nonsense. Everyone, Lu Ming is eloquent. We can't be fooled by him. I suggest we take him down, destroy his cultivation, and bring him back to the two-world city for interrogation. The leader of the Lan family shouted. Lan family, Yin family, I will make you pay for what you did today. Lu Ming shouted and turned around to leave. He knew that he was at a disadvantage today. No matter how he argued, it would be useless. He could only escape first and then think of a way to publicize the crimes of the Lan and Yen families. Lu Ming used his 6-feathered divine wings and flew away at top speed. Chase him. Don't let him escape. He's trying to escape punishment. The leader of the Lan clan shouted. Together with the experts of the Yen clan, they chased after Lu Ming. The other people from the Heaven Realm looked at each other. They didn't know who was real and who was fake, so they could only watch. Lu Ming, you can't escape. The leader of the Lan family hollered. A jade talisman appeared in his hands. He then crushed the jade talisman. A gush of green energy shrouded his body. His speed suddenly increased and he quickly approached Lu Ming. Lu Ming's expression changed. He turned around, drew his bow, and shot an arrow at the leader. A battle sword appeared in the leader's hand. He slashed out and collided with the arrow, causing it to explode. His body paused for a moment, and then he continued to chase after Lu Ming. Whoosh, whoosh. The leader of the Lan clan slashed out a few times. Sword Chi whistled and slashed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming kept dodging, but he was still hit by a Sword Chi. Lu Ming vomited blood and flew forward. No, I can't escape like this. I'll go to that small world and try my luck. With a thought, Lu Ming rushed toward the place where there were spatial fluctuations. The experts of the Lan clan and Yen clan chased after him. As they chased, the leader of the Lan clan kept slashing out Sword Chi. Lu Ming could only block with his bow and try his best to dodge at the same time. However, after a few moves, Lu Ming was hit again. His body was almost cut open. However, with the indestructible ancient scripture, Lu Ming was fine. His injuries were recovering quickly. After a while, a huge black vortex appeared in front of him. Obviously, this was the entrance to the small world. Lu Ming dashed in without turning his head back. The leader of the Lan clan also rushed in. The two of them were the fastest. The others were a little slower. Lu Ming rushed into the vortex. The next moment he appeared in the void. However, the scene that was imprinted in his eyes made Lu Ming's eyes narrow. In this small world, the ground cracked and a hideous crack appeared. Heaven and earth were barren. In the sky, one spatial crack after another kept flashing. Let's go. Without thinking too much, Lu Ming rushed forward. Behind him, a fluctuation came. The leader of the Lan clan also appeared. As soon as he came out, he was shocked by the scene in front of him. However, when he saw Lu Ming, his eyes were filled with killing intent. He rushed towards Lu Ming. Swoosh, swoosh. The leader of the Lan clan unleashed his full strength. The strength of a 17th-level true emperor was undoubtedly displayed. The sword chi slashed through the void and the space directly exploded. This is... Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. He wanted to use the fallen star bow to block the attack, but he could not help but stop. The leader of the Lan clan's face changed drastically. Rumble. At this moment, the whole world shook violently. The sky kept exploding. The leader of the Lan clan's sword just now seemed to have lit a fuse. The whole world began to collapse and explode. Not good. The leader of the Lan clan realized that something was wrong. He turned around and wanted to leave through the entrance. However, with a loud bang, the entrance also exploded. The entrance collapsed. Rumble. The ground collapsed. Dense spatial cracks appeared in the sky. Damn it, damn it. The leader of the Lan clan kept roaring in fear. This is a small world that is about to collapse. Lu Ming had a bitter taste in his mouth. At this time he understood. This small world should have been floating in the eternal void for countless years and was about to collapse. However, when they rushed in and used their cultivation to attack, they broke the balance and caused the world to completely collapse. The collapse of a small world was very terrifying. In particular, this small world might very well belong to a very powerful existence, and its power was even greater. Boom. The ground exploded. The sky was full of cracks. The cracks were increasing, revealing a dark void. Terrifying spatial storms swept in all directions. With the combat strength of Lu Ming and the leader of the Lan clan, it was fine to enter the dark void. However, if they were swept by the spatial storms of the small world, they would definitely die. The two of them tried their best to dodge. However, after a while, the whole world and space were filled with spatial storms. There was almost nowhere to hide. Damn it, it's all your fault, I want you dead. The leader of the Lan clan roared crazily and blamed everything on Lu Ming. If Lu Ming didn't rush in, he wouldn't have chased after him. If Lu Ming didn't escape and let him kill him, this wouldn't have happened. He roared and pounced on Lu Ming. Chapter 2290. At this moment, Lu Ming was in danger. The spatial storm was sweeping in all directions and he was almost caught in it. Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron, hide in it. Lu Ming thought of the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. With a thought, a Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron appeared in front of him. Lu Ming rushed into the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. Although the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron's energy seemed to have been exhausted and had fallen into a deep slumber, Lu Ming was unable to activate its terrifying power. However, the material of the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron was extremely tough. Now he could only rely on the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron to resist the spatial storm outside. Crush. As soon as Lu Ming hid in the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron, it was swept away by a spatial storm. The terrifying spatial storm burst out with shocking power and constantly cut the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. However, the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron was extremely tough. Although the spatial storm was powerful, it could not do anything to the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. The leader of the Lan family also saw this scene. "Save me, Lu Ming, save me." The leader of the Lan family shouted. "Idiot." Lu Ming's faint voice came from the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. "No, save me. You can't leave me to die. We are all from the Heaven Realm." The leader of the Lan family shouted and wanted to rush towards the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. However, the entire world was about to collapse. The endless spatial storm swept over and the leader of the Lan family was directly swept into the spatial storm. He let out a cry of despair and then there was no sound. Outside the small world, the other members of the Lan family and the Yen family wanted to rush into the small world. However, when they approached the vortex shook violently and then exploded. What's going on? The members of the Lan family and the Yen family were shocked. Rumble. Then the space shook violently. The members of the Lan family and the Yen family were shocked and quickly retreated. The other members of the Heaven Realm also came to the side and looked at it in surprise. Rip. A crack appeared where the vortex was originally. They could vaguely see the scene of destruction inside. This is the collapse of the small world. That small world is collapsing. They were all experienced people. How could they not have thought of this when they saw this scene? They also speculated that the small world was definitely too ancient, and was now completely collapsing. Lu Ming is dead meat. Someone whispered. Everyone's expression became solemn. A true emperor was dead for sure when facing the destruction of a small world. The Lan family and the Yen family felt a lingering fear. Fortunately, they didn't rush in. Otherwise they would also die. What a pity for the indestructible ancient scripture. The members of the Lan and Yen families sighed in their hearts. They didn't care about Lu Ming's life or death. However, it was a pity that the indestructible ancient scripture would accompany Lu Ming to be buried in the void. They didn't leave. Instead they watched from afar. At this moment the small world had completely collapsed. Endless space storms swept across the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. Dong, dong, dong. Even if Lu Ming hid in the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron and had the protection of the cauldron, some of the terrifying vibrations still seeped into the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron, causing Lu Ming to suffer a terrifying attack. Lu Ming's body was surrounded by the power of law. At the same time he revolved the indestructible golden body to resist that terrifying power. However, he still suffered heavy injuries. His bones were broken, his muscles were torn and he vomited large mouthfuls of blood. This small world was definitely a heavenly emperor's small world. The energy formed by the collapse was too terrifying. The Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron was like a small boat in the boundless sea, drifting with the waves. It was swept into the boundless dark void by the space storms, drifting into the distance. Not knowing how long had passed, the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron suddenly emitted a violent rumble. Then, a violent explosion erupted outside. Following that, everything calmed down. What's going on? Could it be that I've already been swept out of the dark void? Lu Ming's heart stirred. Through the cauldron's mouth he discovered light shining in. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Looks like he really got out of the dark void. Lu Ming climbed out of the cauldron's mouth. In the outside world, birds were singing and flowers were fragrant. He was currently on this mountain peak. However, when the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron smashed down just now, half of this mountain peak was smashed and embedded in the mountain peak. Lu Ming waved his hand and put away the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. Where is this? Lu Ming looked around. What entered his eyes was a boundless green mountain. It was lush and full of vitality, and it was an expanse of lush green. This was not the true Emperor's battlefield at all. It was not even the battlefield outside Two World City. Because there were constant battles and killings on the battlefield all year round, it was long dead silent. No vegetation could survive. It was completely different from this place. Could it be that I've been swept into some place in the grand pure celestial domain by the space storms? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He thought of another possibility in the next moment. If he could be swept into the grand pure celestial domain, wouldn't that mean he could be swept into another celestial domain? Could this place be another celestial domain? Other than the grand pure celestial domain, the other 8 celestial domains of the celestial world were occupied by the foreign races. If he came to another celestial domain, it would be troublesome. Let's heal first. Lu Ming shook his head. His injuries were severe. No matter where he was, he had to recover to his peak condition first. Lu Ming sat down cross-legged and circulated the indestructible ancient scripture to heal his injuries. But just as he started to heal his injuries, several streaks of light flew towards him. Lu Ming's expression changed. He could only stop healing and look at the streaks of light. Foreign races. Lu Ming's expression turned uglier when he saw them. It was impossible for there to be foreign races in the grand pure celestial domain. Moreover, this was not the battlefield outside Two World City. There was only one possibility. This was another celestial domain of the celestial world. Lu Ming felt bitter in his mouth. He had never thought that he would really be in another celestial domain of the celestial world. It's the human race. Kill any human who escapes. The foreign races also saw Lu Ming and charged towards Lu Ming. Even though they were far away, there were streaks of destructive light shooting towards Lu Ming. The strongest is at the 10th order True Emperor realm. Kill. From the other party's attack, Lu Ming sensed that the strongest combat power among the alien tribes should be at the 10th level of a true emperor. This kind of combat strength was no threat to Lu Ming. Lu Ming ignored his injuries and condensed the infinite dragon spear in his hand and attacked. Boom, boom. Streaks of spear light pierced towards the foreign races, killing them one after another. More than a dozen foreign races were killed by Lu Ming in an instant. Lu Ming kept the foreign races' corpses in his pocket world and left the place in a flash. Lu Ming needed to find a secluded place to heal his injuries. His injuries had worsened after he forced himself to attack. But in the next moment, his expression changed. That was because there was another group of outsiders charging over from another direction. It's a human who escapes. Kill him. Chapter 2291. Dozens of foreign races charged towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming could sense that there were terrifying experts among them. Even though there were no emperors, there were at least 16th or 17th level emperors. Lu Ming was heavily injured and was no match for these foreign races. He could only avoid them for now. Lu Ming used his 6 feathered wings and flew towards the distance. The foreign races chased after him. Which heaven is this? The other party said that there are humans who escaped the net. It seems like there are still humans in this heaven. Lu Ming pondered as he flew. The foreign races behind him were fast. Some of them were strong and they were slowly closing the distance between them and Lu Ming. My injuries are too heavy. I can't use my full strength. Lu Ming frowned and thought of a plan. After a while, he was tens of thousands of miles away. Suddenly, another group of foreign races appeared in front of him. There were more than 20 of them. Lu Ming had no choice but to change his direction and rush towards the left. This way, the distance between him and the foreign races decreased. What should I do? Lu Ming quickly thought of a plan. He could take out the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron to block the foreign races' attacks, but that would be like catching a turtle in a jar. Under such circumstances, it was not a good idea. Lu Ming could only continue flying. Human die. The foreign races slowly closed in on Lu Ming. Lu Ming took out the fallen star bow and shot a few arrows. However, the foreign races were too strong and they blocked them. Forcefully pulling the fallen star bow made Lu Ming's injuries worse. Whoosh. Lu Ming flew over a mountain peak that towered into the clouds and entered a huge canyon. The foreign races also rushed into the valley. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Right at that moment, a series of attacks suddenly erupted from the Grand Canyon. These attacks weren't aimed at Lu Ming but at the outsiders. In the blink of an eye, 7 or 8 outsiders were killed, and the outsiders who were chasing Lu Ming were stopped in their tracks. Kill. Kill these outsiders. A furious roar could be heard from the canyon as more than 20 figures dashed out from it. Human race, divine beast. Lu Ming was stunned for a moment before he was overjoyed. These people who rushed out were actually humans and there were also divine beasts. Furthermore, they were all extremely powerful. One of them was a middle-aged man with a saber. He slashed out and killed 2 16th Order True Emperors while seriously injuring another 17th Order True Emperor. That's a peak true emperor at the 18th level. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Moreover, there were a few 16th level and 17th level emperors. It was a completely one-sided battle. Dozens of outsiders were being slaughtered one after another. Lu Ming didn't care about his injuries as he continued to draw his fallen star bow, killing a few outsiders who tried to escape. There were 40 to 50 outsiders in total. Not long after, they were all killed and their corpses were collected. Following which, their gazes shifted to Lu Ming. Everyone, thank you for your help. Lu Ming cupped his fists in gratitude. Who are you? Why haven't I seen you before? Are there other lesser worlds that haven't been conquered by the outsiders? A young woman walked in the air and looked at Lu Ming curiously. This woman was very beautiful. She was wearing armor and her impressive figure was fully displayed. Other lesser worlds? Lu Ming was confused. Everyone, may I ask where this place is? Which celestial domain is this? Lu Ming asked. Which celestial domain? This is obviously Myriad Spirit Celestial Domain. Aren't you from there? The young woman asked curiously. The others also came over and looked at Lu Ming curiously. Myriad Spirit Celestial Domain. I'm actually in Myriad Spirit Celestial Domain. Lu Ming was shocked. Myriad Spirit Celestial Domain was one of the 9 heavens domains of the Heaven Realm. It had long been invaded by the outsiders. It seemed that he had been swept here by the collapse of the lesser worlds. I'm sorry, but I'm from Grand Pure Celestial Domain. Lu Ming said. What? You're from Grand Pure Celestial Domain? The young woman and the others all widened their eyes in shock. Then their eyes were filled with incomparable joy. We heard from the outsiders that Grand Pure Celestial Domain hasn't been conquered and is still in the hands of the Heaven Realm. Is that true? How did you come to Myriad Spirit Celestial Domain? Is there a secret passage? The young woman asked a lot of questions. The others were also curious. At this moment, Lu Ming's body trembled slightly and his face turned pale. At this moment he was seriously injured. Let's leave this place first. This young man is seriously injured. It won't be too late to ask him after he recovers. An old man walked over and said, I was too excited. Let's go. The young woman said. Immediately, the young woman waved her world energy and took Lu Ming and the 20 people in a direction. During this time, they kept changing directions as if they were afraid of being chased by the outsiders. Soon they came to a secret place. Through a secret passage they entered an underground space. After arriving here, Lu Ming sat down cross-legged to heal his injuries. His injuries recovered rapidly as the indestructible ancient scripture circulated. In less than 2 hours, Lu Ming's injuries were healed, and he was back to his peak condition. So fast. Seeing that Lu Ming had recovered in just 2 hours, everyone was dumbfounded. Lu Ming's injuries were not light. If it were someone else, it would take at least 10 days to half a month to fully recover. However, Lu Ming had recovered in just 2 hours. This surprised them and made them curious. Thank you everyone for your help. Lu Ming stood up and thanked everyone. We're all creatures of the Heaven Realm. It's only right for us to help. The young woman said with a smile. She was very forthright. Among these people, only the young woman was from the younger generation. She was about the same age as Lu Ming. Naturally, she was more talkative. My name is Ren Chan. What's your name? The young woman asked. My name is Lu Ming. Lu Ming said. Now, can you tell me how you came from the Tai Ching Heaven Domain? Ren Chan blinked her eyes and asked curiously. I accidentally entered a small world that was about to collapse. Lu Ming briefly recounted how he came to this place. I see. I thought there was some secret passage. Ren Chan let out a sigh, somewhat disappointed. The others also sighed secretly. Lu Ming came here through a small world that was about to collapse. This was completely coincidental and could not be replicated. If there was a secret passage, they could go to the Tai Ching Heaven Domain through it. By the way, what's the situation here? Lu Ming asked about the situation in the 10,000 Spirit Heaven Domain. Chapter 2292. The 10,000 Spirit Celestial Realm had been conquered by the foreign tribes countless years ago. However, the 10,000 Spirit Sky Domain was incomparably vast. There were all kinds of wondrous places. Moreover, many powerhouses were born back then. There were even quite a few heavenly Emperor Realm figures. Naturally, there were many small worlds attached to the 10,000 Spirit Celestial Realm. The entrances to these small worlds were mostly hidden and difficult to find. The place where Ren Chan and the others lived was one of the extremely secretive small worlds. However, after the foreign tribes conquered the 10,000 spirit celestial realm, they sent out a large number of experts to search for those small worlds and the hidden heavenly realm beings. Over the years, countless heavenly realm experts had been killed, and many small worlds had been found and conquered. Now, there were very few heavenly realm beings left in the 10,000 spirit celestial realm. The remaining people were struggling to survive. That was why they were so excited when they heard that Lu Ming was from the Grand Pure Celestial Realm. The conditions in the 10,000 spirit celestial realm were too difficult. They didn't know when the foreign tribes would find and conquer the small worlds. In the 10,000 spirit celestial realm, they faced danger at all times. Of course, they wanted to go to the Grand Pure Celestial Realm to cultivate. This time we came out to find an origin stone vein and see some origin stones. We didn't expect to meet you. At this point Rin Chan sighed. Lu Ming completely understood. Rin Chan and the others hid in a small world without an origin stone vein. In the long run they would run out of origin stones. Without origin stones, how could they cultivate? That was why they took the risk to come out and look for origin stones. However, most of the origin stone veins in the 10,000 spirit celestial realm are guarded by the foreign tribes. It's not easy to seize them. Our plan is to go to a small vein nearby. Brother Lu, do you want to go with us? Rin Chan asked. Okay. Lu Ming nodded. Now that they were in the 10,000 spirit celestial realm, it was rare to meet people from the heavenly realm. Lu Ming naturally wanted to go with them. Otherwise it would be more dangerous to go alone. Immediately, everyone left the place and carefully headed in a certain direction. Along the way they didn't meet any other foreign tribes. In fact, there weren't that many outsiders in the realm of myriad spirit. This was because although the outsiders could absorb and refine the origin chi of the heavenly realm, it was very slow and the efficiency was very low. It was very disadvantageous for the outsiders' cultivation. It was just like how Lu Ming's absorption speed was also very slow. Therefore there weren't that many foreign races in the heaven realm. They all took turns. A batch of non-humankind warriors had been stationed here for many years. Only the battlefield in Two World City had a large number of non-humankind warriors. Otherwise, Rin Chan and the rest would not dare to come out. About a day later they arrived at a dense forest. Here, ancient trees towered into the sky, and the green grass was like a cushion. More than 20 people were hiding nearby. Through the leaves they could see an enormous mountain range off in the distance. It was none other than In or Mine, which was guarded by powerful outsiders. Let me check. Rin Chan said and then sat down cross-legged. The others surrounded Rin Chan. It was obvious that Rin Chan's status was very high among them. Along the way, Lu Ming found out that Rin Chan's battle strength was equivalent to a 10th order true emperor. With such battle strength at his age, he could be ranked among the top of the 9 absolutes even in the Grand Pure Sky domain. At this time, a layer of green light spread out from Rin Chan's body. This layer of green light resonated with the surrounding green grass and ancient trees, causing the grass to emit a layer of sparkling green light. After a while Rin Chan opened his eyes and said, "There is an Emperor Realm expert in the Or Mine. It seems like we need to wait for the right opportunity." Lu Ming was taken aback. Could it be that Rin Chan had used the green grass and ancient trees to detect the enemy in the mine? This method could be said to be incomparably mysterious. Apart from emperors, how about those with true emperor strength? An old man asked. There is one 18th order true emperor, 2 17th order true emperors, and the rest are below 17th order true emperors. There are about 50 of them. Rin Chan said. True emperors are fine. As long as that Emperor Realm expert leaves we can make our move. A middle-aged man said. Lu Ming, we need to wait here for a while. Rin Chan came over and said with a smile. It's fine. Lu Ming smiled. Later, Lu Ming found out that Rin Chan had a mysterious divine ability. The strongest law that Rin Chan had mastered was the law of life. Combined with other laws, it created a mysterious divine ability that allowed him to sense the enemy's situation and even their cultivation through the grass and trees. The further the distance, the weaker the perception. Of course, this was also determined by Rin Chan's cultivation. The stronger the cultivation, the farther the perception. This divine ability was amazing. It was no wonder that Rin Chan had a high status in everyone's hearts. Next they waited in the forest. Lu Ming didn't stay idle. He comprehended the laws in peace. Now he had 3 laws, the law of death, the law of devour, and the law of array, all of which had reached the 3rd realm. As for the law of primal chaos, as the first law that Lu Ming comprehended, it was also very close to the 3rd realm. Lu Ming focused on comprehending the law of primal chaos. As long as the law of primal chaos broke through, his combat strength would skyrocket. This wait lasted for 3 months. It's about to break through. On this day, Lu Ming was cultivating when he suddenly captured a trace of inspiration. He felt that it was finally time for the law of primal chaos to break through. Lu Ming was wholeheartedly immersed in it without any distractions. Boom. Not long after, Lu Ming's aura surged, and his law of primal chaos broke through to the third realm in one fell swoop. Rin Chan and the others' gazes fell on Lu Ming, exclaiming repeatedly. During this period of time, they already knew that Lu Ming had mastered 3 supreme laws. At first they were shocked beyond words. Even now, seeing Lu Ming cultivating, they were still amazed. Brother Lu Ming, I reckon that you are an invincible genius in the Tai Ching heavenly domain. It's a pity that you ended up in the 10,000 spirit heavenly domain. If you could grow up steadily in the Tai Ching heavenly domain, you might become an invincible powerhouse in the future. Someone sighed. Indeed. The others nodded. Now that Lu Ming was stranded in the myriad spirit sky domain, lacking resources and unable to return, it was hard to say what his future path would be. There's also Rin Chan. Many people looked at Rin Chan. Rin Chan's talent was also rare in the world. Although their entire small world had gathered resources to nurture Rin Chan, under such conditions the resources were limited. Even so, Rin Chan had achieved so much. If he was in the Grand Pure Sky domain, his achievements would probably be even higher. After a while, Lu Ming ended his cultivation and opened his eyes. My current combat strength should have reached the 15th level of the True Emperor realm. Lu Ming measured his combat strength. Previously, his combat strength was at the 14th level of the True Emperor realm. The law of primal chaos was no small matter. Once he broke through, his combat strength would increase greatly. Now, Lu Ming's combat strength had reached the 15th level of the True Emperor realm. Chapter 2293. They continued to wait. Another 10 days passed in the blink of an eye. That great emperor has left. Rin Chan suddenly cried out in excitement. They waited for 3 months before the great emperor finally left. Only one great emperor left? Someone asked. Yes, only that great emperor left. Rin Chan nodded. That's not bad. They have one 18th level true emperor and 2 17th level true emperors. We have one 18th level true emperor and 3 17th level true emperors. We can suppress them. A white-haired old man said. The white-haired old man was the strongest among them. He was at the peak of the 18th level true emperor realm. There were 3 17th level true emperors among them as well. Leave the 18th level true emperor to me. We need to stop the 2 17th level true emperors. We'll have one more 17th level true emperor to help the others kill the other races. Then we'll work together to kill the 3 strongest great emperors. The white-haired old man explained his strategy. Everyone nodded. It was the best strategy for now. However, for safety's sake, they didn't attack right away. They waited for a while to prevent the great emperor from returning. After a few hours, they made sure that the great emperor had left before making their move. They concealed their auras and headed towards the mine. Not long after, they arrived at the vicinity of the mine. There were 2 true emperors guarding the entrance of the mine. Unfortunately, they weren't strong enough and were killed by the white-haired old man in one move. Charge! The white-haired old man roared and they charged into the mine. It's the fish that escaped from Heaven World. Kill them. The moment they entered, they were discovered by the great emperors. Dozens of great emperors rushed out from different parts of the mine. There were more than 50 people, twice as many as they had. Kill them. Ants from Heaven World die. An outsider whose entire body was covered in purple light gave off a terrifying aura as he charged towards them. This was an 18th level true emperor. Leave it to me. The white-haired old man rushed over and engaged in a fierce battle. Both of them were evenly matched. It was hard to tell who had the upper hand. At the same time, the 2 foreign experts were also stopped by the 2 from the other side. They had an extra 17th level true emperor on their side. Although they had fewer people on their side, they were all elites and were obviously stronger. Kill? Lu Ming also rushed over and condensed a long spear in his hand. With a stab, he killed a level 13 true emperor of a foreign race. Lu Ming discovered that among these alien races, only a minority had purple scales. Most of them were ordinary evil god race with black scales. This was also normal. The purple-scaled evil god race were nobles of the evil god race. Naturally, there wouldn't be so many of them. They could only see so much outside the battlefield of Two World City. Whoosh, whoosh. Lu Ming was invincible, and after killing 2 more non-human experts he was finally targeted by a non-human expert. This person was a 15th level true emperor. The outsider roared as he charged toward Lu Ming. Kill? Lu Ming flapped his 6 feathered divine wings and rushed toward the outsider as well. Boom. Both of them used their killing moves and clashed fiercely. Then both of them quickly retreated. The difference was that the outsider was heavily injured while the outsider spat out mouthfuls of blood. On the other hand, Lu Ming was only lightly injured. Both of them had the same battle strength, but Lu Ming had the indestructible golden body. The outsider's attacks could only lightly injure him. On the other hand, he could easily injure the outsider. Kill? Lu Ming continued to attack the outsider. The two exchanged a few more moves before the outsider's head was pierced by Lu Ming's spear and he died on the spot. With the same battle strength, Lu Ming had the absolute advantage. Of course, having the same battle strength didn't mean that both of them had the same cultivation level. In fact, the outsider's cultivation level was much higher than Lu Ming's. However, Lu Ming was stronger and could fight above his level. Hence, they had the same battle strength. At this point, Lu Ming's side had the absolute advantage. They were all elites with great battle strength. Though the outsider had more people, they weren't as strong as them. More than 20 of them had already died. This was especially true for the 17th level true emperor expert. He was unstoppable. They were about to win according to their plan. Right at this moment, a violent rumble suddenly came from one of the mines. Then 2 burly foreign races rushed out of the mine. Damn celestial bastards, kill them. The 2 foreign races roared and soared into the sky, charging toward Lu Ming and the rest. Boom. 2 of Lu Ming's experts were sent flying. One of them spat out mouthfuls of blood while the other was weaker and was killed instantly. Not good, 2 17th level true emperors. They were hiding in the depths of the mine and I couldn't find them. Ren Chan exclaimed. Not good. The others were shocked as well. The enemy had 2 more 17th order true emperors. Their top experts were at a disadvantage. They were about to lose. Bastards from Celestial World, die. The 2 outsider roared and rushed towards Lu Ming's group. I'll stop them. The 17th level true emperor expert rushed towards the 2 outsider. However, he was no match for the outsider and was injured after a few moves. It wasn't a matter of cultivation but battle strength. It was a matter of equal battle strength. It was hard to tell who was stronger. What do we do? What do we do? Ren Chan and the others were anxious. Their lesser world didn't have a lot of people to begin with. The death of even one outsider would be a great loss. Leave it to me. At this moment, Lu Ming spoke and dashed over. At the same time, the fallen star bow appeared in his hands. Buzz. Lu Ming pulled the bowstring and the fallen star bow vibrated slightly. The power of laws and the power of the world poured into the fallen star bow. A 9-colored arrow shot toward one of the alien races with the combat strength of a level 17 true emperor. Whoosh. That outsider swung his battle axe at the arrow. Boom. Intense rumbling sounds echoed out as the outsider's battle axe trembled violently, and cracks spread out across its surface. The outsider couldn't even hold onto the battle axe properly, and it flew out of his hand. As for the outsider himself, he was sent tumbling backward, coughing up mouthfuls of blood. Before Lu Ming's breakthrough in the law of primal chaos, he was only a 14th level true emperor. The fallen star bow could be blocked by a 17th level true emperor expert. However, now that Lu Ming's law of primal chaos had improved, the fallen star bow's power had increased. The 17th level true emperor expert couldn't stop Lu Ming's arrow at all. Whoosh. Then Lu Ming shot another arrow at the seriously injured foreign race member. This time the outsider couldn't stop Lu Ming's arrow and was killed in the air. Good. Chapter 2294. Ren Chan and the others were ecstatic. They didn't expect Lu Ming to be strong enough to kill a 17th level true emperor. This meant that they could turn the tide of the battle. The other outsiders were shocked as well. At this time, Lu Ming pulled the bowstring for the 3rd time and shot an arrow at another 17th level true emperor. Boom. This outsider was heavily injured by the arrow. How could his opponent miss such an opportunity? He rushed over and killed his opponent with a slash. 2 17th level true emperors were instantly killed. Next, Lu Ming dashed toward the rest of the alien races with the combat power of a level 17 true emperor. Each time Lu Ming pulled the bowstring, the enemy would be heavily injured and killed by his opponent. By the time Lu Ming released the 5th arrow, all 17th level true emperors were dead. On Lu Ming's side, the 3 experts with the combat strength of a level 17 true emperor were free to kill the remaining alien tribes. With the addition of 3 17th Order true emperors, the battle became one-sided. Soon after, the remaining outsiders were all killed. Only the 18th Order true emperor was still fighting the old man. It was hard to tell who had the upper hand. Damn it! The foreign race with the combat strength of a level 18 true emperor roared furiously, glaring at Lu Ming with resentment. It was all because of Lu Ming that the battle ended like this. However, Lu Ming's reply was an arrow. Whoosh! A 9-colored arrow with a long tail was shot towards the outsider. Bang! The non-humanoid being unleashed a strike with all his might to block the 9-colored arrow, but his body was also shaken violently, revealing an opening. The white-haired old man used this chance to injure the outsider. Attack together. At the same time, the others attacked as well. More than 20 attacks flooded the outsider. The outsider was exhausted and kept retreating. During this time, Lu Ming released 2 more arrows. 2 arrows shot out in rapid succession, startling the other party who hurriedly tried to block them. As such, he was no match for the white-haired old man at all. He was continuously struck by the white-haired old man's killing moves. In the end, he was unwillingly killed by the white-haired old man. At this point, all the outsiders in the vein were killed. Lu Ming, it's all thanks to you this time. Ren Chan and the others came over to thank Lu Ming. If it wasn't for Lu Ming, they would have been in great danger. Even if they could escape, they would have suffered great losses. Since we're here together, I'll do my best. Lu Ming smiled and took a deep breath. He put away the fallen star bow and took out a pile of ores to absorb them. The 7 arrows earlier had consumed a lot of Lu Ming's energy. He needed to replenish his world energy. I'll keep watch here, you guys go collect the ores. Ren Chan and the others. The others nodded. Then they entered various parts of the mine to collect origin stones. Ren Chan, on the other hand, used her divine ability to observe the surrounding movements through the vegetation. Lu Ming sat cross-legged at the side and absorbed the ores to recover his cultivation. A few hours later, Lu Ming had recovered to his peak, but he didn't go to dig for ores. He still had a lot of ores, enough for Lu Ming to use for decades. Lu Ming sat at the side and waited. After a few days, they finally finished digging for ores. This time they had gained a lot, enough to replenish their energy for a while. Now they had to leave. The longer they stayed, the more dangerous it would be. If a great emperor came, they would all die. The group left the place and ran along the mountain forest, rushing toward the small world they lived in. With Ren Chan, who could sense them, they were very safe and could perfectly avoid the outsiders. However, they didn't dare to increase their speed recklessly. Just like that, after half a month of traveling, they finally arrived near the small world where Ren Chan and the others lived. In front of them there were groups of mountains, but there was no vegetation. It looked like a dead silence with gray fog everywhere, and visibility was extremely low. This is the Land of Dusk, one of the 3 great forbidden lands of the myriad spirit sky. It's the first of the 3 great forbidden lands, known as the dusk of all living things. It's filled with terrifying field energy and is extremely dangerous. Ren Chan explained to Lu Ming. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He understood that the entrance to the small world where Ren Chan and the others lived should be in the Land of Dusk. Are there no outsiders here? Lu Ming asked. There are, of course there are. Ren Chan said, the 3 forbidden lands of the All Spirits land have been targeted by the foreign tribes for a long time. The other 2 forbidden lands have been conquered by the foreign tribes. Only the Land of Dusk hasn't been conquered yet. The Land of Dusk is filled with terrifying field energy. The foreign tribes have attacked it many times and suffered great losses. Our entrance to the small world is only at the periphery of the Land of Dusk. We don't dare to go deeper because it's very dangerous. Wait a moment, you have to follow us closely. They restrained their auras and carefully entered the Land of Dusk. Because there were still outsiders lingering in the vicinity, they couldn't let the outsiders discover the entrance to the small world. Otherwise, the consequences would be dire. The outsiders wouldn't let them go. After entering the Land of Dusk, their speed slowed down. The white-haired old man walked at the front while the others followed the old man's path. This area was filled with undulating mountains. A terrifying pressure pervaded the air, making one feel a strong sense of danger at first glance. The terrain here naturally formed all kinds of terrifying field energy. The closer to the core of the Land of Dusk, the more terrifying the field energy was. It was extremely dangerous. They carefully moved forward. After a few hours, they finally entered an underground crack and entered a dark river. Through the dark river, they came to an underground cave. There was a dark vortex here. The entrance to the small world was here. Could be said that it was extremely hidden. No wonder the outsiders hadn't found it for so long. They stepped into the vortex. In the next moment, Lu Ming and the others arrived at a mountain range. We're here. Let's go to the city. Ren Chan smiled and the group flew forward. This small world was very large and spacious. After flying for a while, they arrived at a huge city. There were still many people and divine beasts in this small world. After all, it was a small world. After so many years of reproduction, the population was naturally large. Therefore, cultivation resources became a scarce item, and the demand could not meet the demand. After arriving at the city, Ren Chan arranged a place for Lu Ming to stay. Lu Ming stayed here with peace of mind. Since he was here, he might as well make the best of it. Lu Ming could only cultivate while looking for a way to return to the Grand Pure Sky domain. Or when his cultivation was strong enough, he could directly kill his way back. However, he didn't know how many years that would take. A few days later, the upper echelons of this small world invited Lu Ming to ask him some questions. Lu Ming's arrival from the Grand Pure Sky domain had alarmed some of the powerhouses of this small world. Chapter 2295. The upper echelons of the small world all wanted to know how to get to the Grand Pure Sky domain. This was not the way to go. The cultivation resources in this small world were getting fewer and fewer, and it was difficult for powerhouses to be born. If the foreign races found it, it would be destroyed sooner or later. Only going to the Grand Pure Sky domain was the best plan. In ancient times, when the foreign races invaded, not everyone retreated. Many did not have time to retreat and stayed in the myriad spirit sky domain. This was the case in this small world. Unfortunately, they did not get anything from Lu Ming. They only knew the current situation of the Grand Pure Sky domain. Next, Lu Ming stayed here and cultivated in peace. Every day he would enter the mountain river diagram and comprehend the laws under the Enlightenment Ancient Tree. Now, the Enlightenment Ancient Tree had grown to 50 meters tall, but compared to the mature Enlightenment Ancient Tree, the effect was much worse. But it was better than nothing. However, after cultivating for a few months, Lu Ming did not break through other laws. He was still at the peak of the second realm. It was not that easy to break through to the third realm. During this period, Ren Chan would spar with Lu Ming from time to time. In this small world, Ren Chan was undoubtedly invincible among her peers. Now that there was Lu Ming who was about the same age as her, but his combat strength was far above hers, she naturally looked for Lu Ming often. After a while, the two became very familiar with each other. On this day, Ren Chan came to look for Lu Ming again. Lu Ming, we plan to go out and go to the Thousand Spirit Mountain to pick some spiritual herbs and sacred herbs. Do you want to go with us? Ren Chan said. Thousand Spirit Mountain? Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Yes, the Thousand Spirit Mountain is the most famous mountain in the myriad spirit sky domain. There are endless spiritual herbs and sacred herbs growing in the Thousand Spirit Mountain. Moreover, the Thousand Spirit Mountain contains sacred soil, which is very suitable for the growth of sacred herbs and spiritual herbs. Our first goal this time is to bring back some spiritual herbs and sacred herbs. In this small world, there is a serious shortage of spiritual herbs and sacred herbs. Many low-level martial artists lack spiritual herbs and sacred herbs for cultivation. If the conditions allow, it would be best if we can dig out some sacred soil from the Thousand Spirit Mountain. We can grow a large number of spiritual herbs and sacred herbs. Ren Chan explained. All right, I'll go. Lu Ming said. Lu Ming Myriad Spirit Mountain isn't like other places. Although our spiritual herbs and sacred herbs aren't very useful to the outsiders, they don't want us to get them. Therefore, Myriad Spirit Mountain has a large number of experts guarding it. It's very dangerous. If you don't want to go, I won't force you. Ren Chan said. It's fine. Lu Ming smiled. Lu Ming also wanted to go out and temper himself. Otherwise, his cultivation progress would be slow. Moreover, Lu Ming had killed a large number of foreign tribes in the True Emperor battlefield and obtained many black crystals that were unique to the foreign tribes. Over the past few months, Lu Ming had taken the time to let the Sky Emperor's body absorb a large number of crystals. The energy stored in the Sky Emperor's body had once again reached about 30%. With the Sky Emperor's body, the self-preservation ability of the Sky Emperor's body was much stronger. Alright, we'll be leaving soon. Let's go together. Ren Chan smiled and came to a square with Lu Ming. There were already a few people gathered here. This time they had sent out quite a number of experts, including 5 martial monarchs. There was definitely a great emperor guarding Myriad Spirit Mountain. Without a great emperor, they wouldn't be able to get the spiritual herbs and sacred herbs. Almost everyone is here. Let's go. An old man with almost all his hair falling out said. He was a high elder of the minor world. He was an expert in the great emperor realm. Lu Ming understood that there was a heavenly emperor guarding this minor world. However, he was in seclusion and didn't come out. Therefore, a high elder was the highest level. This time, a high elder led the team with 5 great emperors as support. The rest were all true emperors. There were more than 100 people. This was already a very powerful force. They went out of the minor world's exit and carefully left the land of dusk, heading in a certain direction. Myriad Spirit Mountain was located at the center of the Myriad Forest Land. It was the most famous sacred ground in the Myriad Spirit Land. It was said that the Myriad Spirit Land's name came from Myriad Spirit Mountain. In the primordial era, before the foreign races invaded the Myriad Spirit Land, it was prosperous to the extreme. The strongest sect in the Myriad Spirit domain, the Myriad Spirit sect, was guarding Myriad Spirit Mountain. Later, the foreign races invaded and the Myriad Spirit sect was destroyed. Myriad Spirit Mountain was also occupied by the foreign races. They moved forward very carefully and didn't meet any foreign races along the way. According to Rin Shan, the number of foreign races in the Myriad Spirit domain had suddenly decreased in the past 10 years. The number of foreign races guarding various places had also decreased sharply. That was why they dared to come out and obtain resources. In the past, they wouldn't have dared to think about Myriad Spirit Mountain. As the number 1 sacred ground in the Myriad Spirit domain, there were many foreign race experts guarding it. However, in recent years, the number of foreign races on Myriad Spirit Mountain had decreased by a lot. Is it because of the attack on the Grand Pure domain? Lu Ming guessed. There were a total of 2 battlefields in the Grand Pure domain. In the past 10 years, both had been attacked by the foreign races. Perhaps the foreign races had transferred their experts from other domains to the battlefield in the Grand Pure domain. That was why their numbers had decreased. That was very likely. It took them more than half a month to reach the vicinity of Myriad Spirit Mountain. In front of them, there were towering mountains that towered into the clouds. However, there was one mountain that was the most majestic among them. It stood out among the mountains like a crane in a flock of chickens. That was Myriad Spirit Mountain. The origin chi here was so dense that it had turned into mist. Rin Shan, check it out. Elder Yuan ordered. Rin Shan nodded and then began to check through the flowers and trees. Soon Rin Shan finished and said, there are 4 very powerful auras. They should all be emperors. For emperors? Good. Elder Yuan was delighted and said, wait a moment. We'll attack and restrain the enemy emperors. You guys take the opportunity to rush in and pick the sacred herbs. It would be best if you can dig up some sacred soil. After Elder Yuan finished speaking, he looked at the other 4 emperors and nodded silently. Then they rushed out together. The 5 martial monarchs rushed toward the 1,000 Spirit Mountain. Their terrifying auras immediately startled the non-humans. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. 4 beams of light immediately burst out from the 10,000 Spirits Mountain. They were all martial monarch realm experts, who engaged in a fierce battle with the 5 elders. Let's go, someone said. They rushed towards Myriad Spirit Mountain at full speed. When they got close to Myriad Spirit Mountain, they split up into groups and spread out. They split up and entered Myriad Spirit Mountain to pick spiritual herbs and sacred herbs. Then they would gather outside. Their main purpose was to pick spiritual herbs and sacred herbs, not to fight with the enemy. More than 50 people were divided into more than a dozen groups and rushed towards Myriad Spirit Mountain in different directions. Lu Ming and Rin Shan were in a group. They followed the forest and rushed towards Myriad Spirit Mountain. Boom, boom. Chapter 2296. In other directions, they had already encountered the evil god tribe and started a fierce battle. However, they had Rin Shan could sense the enemy's aura through the plants. Therefore, they had perfectly avoided the evil god tribe. Not long after, they successfully entered the depths of 1,000 Spirit Mountain. Here, the origin chi was extremely rich and the grass was green. From time to time, one could see spiritual herbs or sacred herbs among the grass. Hurry up and pick them, Rin Shan shouted. The few of them took action. In a flash, they picked all the spiritual herbs and sacred herbs, not leaving a single one behind. There were too many spiritual herbs and sacred herbs here. The medicinal fragrance was so rich that it could not be dispersed. Every few steps there would be spiritual herbs or sacred herbs. That is, suddenly Lu Ming saw a herb. It was crystal clear and emitted a little luster. The medicinal fragrance was much stronger than the other spiritual herbs and sacred herbs. This is other arch-herb. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He did not expect to see other arch-herb before reaching the main peak of Thousand Spirit Mountain. Spiritual herbs were very useful for those below the martial sage realm. As for sacred herbs, they were very useful for martial sages. As for the arch-herbs, as the name suggested, they corresponded to martial emperors. As a matter of fact, the Tree of Enlightenment was considered a monarch herb, a top-tier one at that. Lu Ming rushed over and condensed his power of the world into a shovel. He dug out the arch-herb and put it away. Swoosh, swoosh. The few of them were astonishingly fast. Everywhere they passed, all the spiritual herbs, sacred herbs, and the arch-herbs were dug out. This was a rare opportunity. It was rare that the number of foreign tribes decreased. If the number of foreign tribes increased in the future, there would not be such an opportunity. Therefore, they naturally had to take the opportunity to dig out more herbs. In a moment, Lu Ming dug out hundreds of herbs of different grades. He even dug out 3 the arch-herbs. At this time, the 3 of them had arrived at the real Thousand Spirit Mountain. There is sacred ground in Thousand Spirit Mountain. This is the most precious. Let's dig. Ren Chan and the others' eyes lit up. Their power of the world turned into hoes and dug into the ground. Bang, bang, bang. The hard rocks were broken. Not long after, they lifted the surface of the Thousand Spirit Mountain. Instantly, a 5-colored light filled the air. Lu Ming's eyes suddenly widened. Beneath the rocks of Myriad Spirit Mountain, there was a type of soil with 5 different colors. This kind of soil was like mud. It was not hard but looked very soft and could even move. Ren Chan and the others condensed their power of the realm into giant hands and grabbed at the 5-colored soil. However, they could only grab a small piece each time. So troublesome. Can't you just take it away? Lu Ming took out a storage ring and wanted to take away the entire Thousand Spirit Mountain, but it was useless. Then Lu Ming wanted to collect the 5-colored soil, but it was useless. Lu Ming, it's no use. There's no way you can take away this holy soil. Even if you use your minor world, it's useless. You can only dig it out bit by bit. Ren Chan informed. Lu Ming felt helpless. Following that, he also condensed a huge hand with the power of his world and grabbed down. However, the 5-colored soil seemed to be one. It was incomparably sticky and could not be grabbed at all. Every time he could only grab a little bit. Compared to the huge Thousand Spirit Mountain, it was only a hair from 9 oxen. This is too slow. Even if we dig for a few days, we can't dig out much 5-colored soil. I wonder if the Tree of Enlightenment will work? Lu Ming sighed. Then his eyes lit up. This 5-colored soil had an amazing spirituality. The spiritual herbs, sacred herbs, and emperor herbs near Thousand Spirit Mountain could be nurtured because of this 5-colored soil. If Lu Ming had a large amount of 5-colored soil, his Tree of Enlightenment would definitely be able to grow quickly. The few of them seized the time and dug quickly. But not long after, they were still discovered by the foreign races. It's the remnants of the heaven realm. Kill. More than a dozen foreign races charged toward Lu Ming and the others. Their aura was very shocking. Ren Chan and the others were about to fight. Leave these foreign races to me. I'll lure them away. You guys continue to dig the 5-colored soil and the herbs. Having said that, Lu Ming rushed toward the foreign races. The infinite dragon spear condensed in his hand and attacked the foreign races. Whoosh, whoosh. Lu Ming stabbed out with several spear lights. They broke through the void and attacked the foreign races. Among the alien races, there was an extremely burly alien race who brandished a huge spiked mace and blocked Lu Ming's spear gleams one by one. 17th level True Emperor. Lu Ming's heart moved. The strongest foreign race had the strength of a 17th level True Emperor. Lu Ming did not fight head-on. Instead, he used his 6-feathered divine wings. With a flap of his wings, Lu Ming's body turned into a phantom and went around the foreign race to kill the other foreign races. Whoosh. A spear light flashed and a foreign race with the strength of a 12th level True Emperor was killed by Lu Ming. Then, with a sweep of the spear, another foreign race with the strength of a 14th level True Emperor was sent flying. His body almost exploded as he vomited blood. Courting death. The foreign race with the strength of a 17th level True Emperor was furious. Lu Ming dared to kill his people in front of him. He couldn't care less about Ren Chan and the others. He only wanted to kill Lu Ming. He charged at Lu Ming, but Lu Ming turned around and fled in another direction. After him. The foreign race leader roared and led the other foreign races to chase after Lu Ming. Given Lu Ming's current strength and the 6-feathered divine wings, his speed was slightly faster than that of a level 17 True Emperor. However, Lu Ming was not in a hurry to shake off the other party. He deliberately slowed down a little so that the other party felt that he could catch up with him. Thus, the foreign races chased after Lu Ming and arrived in another direction of Myriad Spirit Mountain. This is it. Lu Ming suddenly stopped. Brat, now that you know you can't escape, die. The foreign races charged at Lu Ming. I'll send you all on your way. Lu Ming took out the fallen star bow and shot an arrow. Boom. The 17th Order True Emperor was heavily injured and coughed out blood. His eyes were filled with fear. Then Lu Ming shot another arrow and killed the alien race. Whoosh, whoosh. 2 more arrows killed 2 more foreign races with the strength of a 16th level True Emperor. The remaining foreign races were shocked and wanted to escape. Lu Ming put away the fallen star bow and used the 6 feathered divine wings to chase after them. The strongest among them were only 15th level True Emperors. They weren't Lu Ming's match and weren't as fast as Lu Ming. It didn't take long before all the foreign races were killed by Lu Ming. With a wave of his hands, he put away the storage rings and crystal cores of all the alien races. Lu Ming landed on Thousand Spirit Mountain, chose a spot, and broke open the rocks, revealing the 5-colored soil inside. Look at the Enlightenment ancient tree. With a thought, Lu Ming entered the mountain river diagram. The tree of enlightenment was rooted on a mountain peak in the mountain river diagram. Lu Ming smashed the mountain peak and pulled out the tree of enlightenment. Lu Ming's figure reappeared on Thousand Spirit Mountain and he placed the tree of enlightenment into the 5-colored soil. Chapter 2297. When Lu Ming placed the tree of enlightenment on the 5-colored soil, a shocking scene happened. The roots of the tree of enlightenment grew crazily and drilled into the 5-colored soil. The roots grew too quickly. Some of them drilled into the soil while others grew outside. They followed the 5-colored soil and wrapped up a large area of 5-colored soil. At this moment, the tree of enlightenment began to grow rapidly. Its leaves spread out and its branches grew longer and thicker. The entire tree of enlightenment was growing at an extremely fast rate. The tree of enlightenment was originally 50 meters tall. Soon it grew to 60 meters, 65 meters, 70 meters. Lu Ming was overjoyed. It was indeed a sacred soil. The effect of growing plants was amazing. Lu Ming cultivated the tree of enlightenment for decades and spent a lot of resources to grow it to 50 meters tall. But now, it grew nearly 50 meters in just a moment. The roots were still growing crazily as if they were going to wrap all the 5-colored soil. After a while, the tree of enlightenment had grown to an astonishing height of 100 meters. At this moment there was a flash of light in the distance. An expert was here. Keep. Lu Ming hugged the tree of enlightenment and used the power of the small world to envelop the tree of enlightenment. Rumble. The tree of enlightenment was uprooted and moved toward Lu Ming's small world. Those roots were like countless claws. They grabbed a large amount of 5-colored soil and moved it toward the small world. Rumble. About 1/10 of the 5-colored soil in the entire Thousand Spirit Mountain had been brought along by the tree of enlightenment into Lu Ming's small world. There was too much 5-colored congealed soil. If they were to dig slowly like that, they did not know how long it would take them to dig. We've made a fortune this time. Lu Ming was overjoyed. With so much 5-colored soil, he didn't know how many herbs he could cultivate. Moreover, the tree of enlightenment didn't need to buy any spiritual liquid to water it. With so much 5-colored soil, it would grow at an amazing speed. Human die. In the distance there was a loud roar. Some foreign races rushed over. Lu Ming used the 6 feathered divine wings and left in a flash. Not long after, Lu Ming shook off the foreign races and entered Thousand Spirit Mountain. He crazily picked spiritual herbs, sacred herbs, and imperial herbs. They agreed that they had to leave this place in 2 hours and meet up at the corresponding location. Lu Ming continued to pluck. He had plucked at least thousands of medicinal herbs of various levels. At this moment he met Ren Chan and the group again. Ren Chan and the group were being chased by a few foreign tribes. Lu Ming took out the fallen star bow and killed the foreign tribes. Then they continued to pick herbs. Soon 2 hours were almost up. They could only stop and rush out of Thousand Spirit Mountain. With Ren Chan's senses they only encountered a group of outsiders on the way, but they managed to avoid them. They flew all the way and soon arrived at a secluded valley. I wonder how the others... Ren Chan was a little worried. Not long after, a group of 4 people came, but they all suffered different degrees of injuries. As soon as they arrived, they circulated their qi to heal their injuries. Not long after, more people came. Half an hour later, only about 30 people came. When they came there were more than 50 people, but now only about 30 people returned. Everyone's expression was a little ugly. Those who did not come were most likely dead. Swoosh, swoosh. The void moved and 5 figures appeared. They were Elder Yuan and the other 4 Thearchs. Let's go back. Elder Yuan ordered. Elder Yuan, where are the others? Should we wait a little longer? Someone said. There's no need to wait. Let's go. Elder Yuan sighed. The others showed a trace of sadness. Judging from Elder Yuan's words, the others were most likely dead. They were helpless. Now that the foreign races had occupied the entire myriad forest heavenly realm, they were like turtles in a jar. They had to hide all day and face danger at all times. They did not know when they would die in the hands of the foreign races. If only they could go to the grand pure celestial realm. Someone sighed. The news of the attack on Myriad Spirit Mountain spread quickly. The foreign races in the Myriad Spirit heavenly realm were shaken, and they were hunting Lu Ming and the others everywhere. Along the way they were cautious. Relying on Ren Chan's senses, they successfully avoided the foreign races. More than 10 days later they returned to the small world. After returning to the small world, they handed over the spiritual herbs and 5-colored soil to the Elder Yuan of the small world for him to distribute. Lu Ming also handed over some. However, Lu Ming only handed over a little of the 5-colored soil. As for the spiritual herbs, sage herbs, and the arch herbs, Lu Ming handed over 80%. He kept a few hundred stalks for himself and planned to plant them in the small world. Little brother Lu Ming, you can keep your spiritual herbs and sage herbs for yourself. An Elder Yuan smiled. After all, Lu Ming was not from this small world. They were already very grateful that he went on an adventure with them. It's fine. These spiritual herbs and sage herbs are not of much use to me. Elder Yuan, I want to collect some spiritual herb seeds or plant seeds. Lu Ming smiled. Okay, I'll send them to you in 2 days. Elder Yuan said. After that, Lu Ming returned to his residence. As soon as he entered, Lu Ming's mind moved, and a body condensed in his small world. This was not Lu Ming's real body, but a body condensed from soul power. In Lu Ming's small world, Lu Ming was a god. He could control everything because the laws of this small world were under his control. Soul power condensed in his small world was no different from a physical body. Lu Ming took a step forward and came to a plain. The plain was incomparably vast, and the Enlightenment ancient tree was rooted here. Under the roots there was colorless soil. In more than 10 days the Enlightenment ancient tree had grown a lot taller. Of course, it did not grow as fast as when it first obtained the 5-colored soil. It had stabilized. However, the height of the Enlightenment ancient tree had reached 200 meters. The leaves were sparkling and resplendent, with the aura of the great Tao lingering around. Comprehending the Tao here was much faster than outside. At that moment, Lu Ming dug out some colorless congealed soil from under the tree of enlightenment and placed it in other places. He then planted the remaining hundreds of sacred herbs and spirit herbs in various places. A newly evolved small world had no life or vegetation, so he had to add them himself. At the Emperor realm he could evolve life, but it would take a long time. Adding them himself was the fastest way. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. 3 days later, Elder Yuan sent people to deliver various spiritual herbs and plant seeds. Lu Ming scattered these seeds all over the small world. This way, after some time, these seeds would take root and sprout, and the small world would be filled with vitality. Chapter 2298. Time flew by in the blink of an eye. Lu Ming cultivated in this small world, sometimes sparring with Ren Chan, and sometimes going out with them to obtain resources. Soon 2 years had passed. In the first year Lu Ming went out with Ren Chan and the others frequently, but in the second year they rarely went out. Because in the second year the number of foreign races in the myriad spirit sky domain increased again, and the number of experts increased by a lot. Lu Ming guessed that the foreign races did not attack the grand pure sky domain anymore, but retreated instead. Moreover, during this time the number of foreign races in the land of dusk had increased by a lot. In the entire myriad spirit sky domain, only the land of dusk had not been occupied by the foreign races. Clearly the foreign races were very curious about this land, and had dispatched a large number of experts to conquer the land of dusk. During this time the foreign races had been constantly attacking the land of dusk. The entire land of dusk was filled with thunderous rumbles as the foreign races bombarded the land, destroying the earth structure, and destroying the energy field here. After the foreign races paid a price, they indeed destroyed a lot of the land of dusk structure, forcibly opening a safe path. On the small world side, they were constantly paying attention, sending people to inquire about the situation outside. Because this was related to their survival. If the land of dusk was completely conquered by the foreign races, their small world would most likely be found by the foreign races. Not long after, a shocking piece of news came. The foreign races had attacked deep into the land of dusk, but they were met with a terrifying attack. In the land of dusk's depths, some kind of terrifying life form had awakened and attacked the foreign races, starting a terrifying war. On that day in the land of dusk's depths, thunderous roars resounded, as if a great ancient beast had awakened. In that battle the foreign races suffered a great loss, and a large number of experts died inside. It was said that there were heavenly Emperor Realm experts who fell inside. The foreign races retreated in defeat, retreating to the land of dusk's depths. Ren Chan, Lu Ming and the others were incomparably shocked when they heard this. What was in the land of dusk's depths? Even heavenly Emperor Realm existences had fallen inside. It was too shocking. My strength is still not enough. I need to continue improving my battle strength. Lu Ming muttered under his breath, condensing his soul into a physical body and entering his own small world. He came to the Enlightenment Ancient Tree to comprehend the laws. Comprehending laws did not require a physical body, his soul's of the eye. Right now his main goal was to comprehend the laws of life. In the past 2 years he had only broken through to the 3rd level of the law of tools. Moreover, he had refined the remaining chaos stones to reach peak 4-star true emperor. As for the law of life, it was on the verge of a breakthrough. This was because his comprehension of the indestructible ancient scripture, life law, and tools law was faster than other laws. This time his cultivation went very smoothly. The law of life was already at the limit of breaking through. A few days later Lu Ming successfully broke through, breaking through to the 3rd level of the law of life. In this way Lu Ming's 3 supreme laws had reached the 3rd level. In addition, the devouring law, tools law and array law were also at the 3rd level. Only the laws of alchemy, the laws of force, and the laws of penetration were still at the 2nd level. With Lu Ming's peak 4-star cultivation, Lu Ming's battle prowess had reached the limit of 17th level. As long as he had one more law or became a 5-star true emperor, his battle prowess would reach the 18th level. The battle prowess of a peak true emperor wasn't something that just anyone could achieve. There was a strict rule that required one to grasp a supreme law and 8 other monarch laws at the 3rd level to reach the peak of 7-star true emperor. This was the limit of a peak true emperor. Those who didn't grasp a supreme law couldn't reach the 18th level even if they reached the peak. At best, they could reach the 17th level. Some of them could only reach the 16th level at best. This was the reason why Lu Ming rarely met anyone at the 18th level. Most of them were in seclusion trying to break through to the Grand Emperor realm. Another reason was that they were rare. Lu Ming, on the other hand, had not reached the peak in terms of laws or cultivation, but he was close to attaining the combat power of a level 18 true emperor. If his cultivation and laws were at the peak, his combat power would be unimaginable. Of course, that didn't mean that one couldn't break through to the Grand Emperor realm before reaching the 18th level. Many people who didn't have a supreme law but had 9 of them at the peak could still try. They only needed one of the 9 laws to reach the Grand Emperor realm. Yes, one needed to grasp at least one monarch law in order to reach the Grand Emperor realm. This was why people with monarch physiques had the potential to reach the Grand Emperor realm. Rumble. Just as Lu Ming ended his cultivation and pondered, there was a sudden tremor. It was as if the entire world was shaking. What's going on? Lu Ming's expression changed. Rumble. The world was shaking more and more violently. The minor world is under attack. Everyone gather. A voice spread to every corner of the city. Lu Ming's expression changed. Did the outsiders find this minor world? Whoosh. Whoosh. In the huge city, countless figures flew into the sky and gathered outside the city walls. Lu Ming also flew over and saw Ren Chan and the others. Everyone's expression was ugly. They looked in the direction of the minor world's exit. The violent shaking came from that direction. Whoosh. Whoosh. Rays of light flew over from that direction. They were the experts guarding the exit. At this moment they were panicking. The outsiders are attacking. Someone shouted. Many people's faces turned pale. They thought of the rumor that wherever the alien race went, they would leave nothing behind. How is this possible? How did the outsiders find the entrance? Someone shouted. After so many years, the outsiders hadn't found the entrance. How did they find it now? No matter what, prepare to meet the enemy. An old man with almost all his hair falling out said. He was one of the founding elders of the minor world. There were a total of 5 founding elders in the minor world. They were all extremely powerful Grand Emperors. Rumble. At this moment, a deafening roar came from the front. It was as if thousands of soldiers and horses were marching in the air. The void kept shaking. Then a dark cloud rushed toward them. It wasn't a dark cloud but the outsiders. Countless outsiders rode on all sorts of strange beasts, roaring as they charged over. Kill the remnants of the heavenly realm. Don't leave a single one alive. The outsiders roared and the strange beasts roared. They waved their weapons and rushed over. Let's kill them. Kill. One of the founding elders shouted. All the experts in the minor world gathered and rushed towards the outsiders. Lu Ming, Ren Chan, and the others followed the crowd and charged out. The two sides collided. Chapter 2299. Die. A long spear materialized in Lu Ming's hands. As the long spear pierced out, spear gleams shot out. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 foreign races were killed by Lu Ming. With Lu Ming's current battle prowess, he was practically unbeatable among true emperors. Even if he encountered an 18th level true emperor, he could still defeat them with the indestructible ancient scripture. Therefore Lu Ming seemed to have entered a no man's land. He did not put up any defenses at all. Instead he attacked with all his might. Wherever Lu Ming went, outsiders fell to the ground like raindrops. However, there were simply too many outsiders. Their numbers were far greater than theirs and they had far more experts as well. Miserable screams rose and fell. People from the heaven realm were also being killed one after another, falling here. This was especially true when it came to the battle between Grand Emperors. Heaven world was at a disadvantage. Some of their Grand Emperors had already fallen. The situation wasn't looking good for them. Die. An outsider with the battle prowess of an 18th level true emperor targeted Lu Ming and attacked Lu Ming. Boom. Boom. Lu Ming and the outsider clashed repeatedly. Lu Ming ignored his own defense and attacked crazily. Lu Ming hit the opponent and the opponent hit Lu Ming in return. The two coughed out blood and retreated. However, Lu Ming had the indestructible avatar and his breakthrough in the law of life. The power of the indestructible ancient scripture was even more terrifying. Lu Ming's injuries healed rapidly. Lu Ming did not care about his injuries at all. He dashed toward the other party, fighting with all his might. The outsider roared and attacked Lu Ming with a ferocious expression. The two of them kept exchanging blows. After more than 10 consecutive moves, the alien was finally defeated. Lu Ming could recover quickly but the other party could not. Die. Lu Ming became one with his spear and pierced through his opponent's head. An expert with the combat power of a level 18 true emperor was killed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming was now at the peak of the true emperor realm. The power of the world swept the other party's corpse into his small world. Then, Lu Ming unleashed his 6-feathered divine wings and charged toward a member of the foreign race with the combat strength of a 17th level true emperor. After a few moves, this alien was also killed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming's figure flickered as he focused on hunting the top emperors. For example, there were 16th level true emperors and 17th level true emperors. This way, Ren Chan and the others could finally catch their breaths. Go kill that brat. High up in the sky, an outsider Grand Emperor fixed his eyes on Lu Ming. There were more great emperors among the foreign races to begin with. They could easily pick out great emperors to do other things. Kill? An outsider Grand Emperor charged at Lu Ming. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. He was invincible among true emperors but he was no match for a great emperor. Even the weakest great emperor could easily kill him. Lu Ming planned to use his heavenly emperor physique. Initially there were too many experts from foreign tribes here. There were also quite a number of top-notch great emperors. Even if Lu Ming used the celestial emperor's body, it would not have much effect on the overall situation. Therefore Lu Ming planned to use it at a critical moment. But now he had no choice. Boom. Just as Lu Ming was about to use his heavenly emperor physique, a terrifying aura exploded from the depths of the minor world. It was the heavenly aura of the heavenly Tao. Heavenly Emperor. A thought flashed through Lu Ming's mind. It was said that there was a heavenly emperor hibernating in this minor world. It seemed to be true. Ancestor. The experts from the celestial world shouted excitedly. Whoosh, whoosh. In the depths of the small world, several beams of sword light shot out. Wherever the sword light passed, the space was torn apart, leaving hideous cracks. These sword lights were aimed at the great emperors. One of them was the one who wanted to attack Lu Ming. It's the heavenly emperor. The foreign race powerhouses roared loudly, retreating wildly in incomparable horror. But how could their speed compare to heavenly emperors? They could not retreat at all. Pork, pork. Several foreign race great emperors were directly slain by several sword lights. Following that, a sword light flashed in the void. An old man with white hair and long robes appeared. This was this minor world's ancestor, a heavenly emperor, known as Absolute Sword Heavenly Emperor. Clang. Absolute Sword Heavenly Emperor emitted a shocking sword howl in his hand. Sword light burst forth, wanting to rush toward the foreign race great emperors again. But at this time, Absolute Sword Heavenly Emperor's expression suddenly changed. His sword momentum changed, turning into a resplendent and enormous sword light, slashing toward a region of the void. Boom. That region of the void exploded. An enormous and boundless large hand appeared. The large hand was covered in purple scales, colliding together with the sword light. After a heaven-shocking rumble, the sword light dissipated. That large hand also shrunk back. On the large hand, several scales were chopped away, oozing a trace of fresh blood. Following that, the void trembled. A burly foreign race appeared in the air. This foreign race similarly emitted a terrifying pressure, not weaker than Absolute Sword Heavenly Emperor. This was similarly a powerful Heavenly Emperor realm existence. I didn't expect that there's still a Heavenly Emperor realm fish that slipped through the net. Can't leave you alive. Today is the day of your death. The foreign race Heavenly Emperor opened his mouth coldly, charging toward Absolute Sword Heavenly Emperor. Absolute Sword Heavenly Emperor burst forth with resplendent sword light from his body, having a great battle with the other party. At the same time, a voice transmitted throughout the heavenly realms people's ears. Don't linger in battle, rush out. Absolute Sword Heavenly Emperor's voice sounded out. Charge. 5 doyens, as well as other great Emperor realm powerhouses, gathered with Lu Ming, they all, rushing to the forefront, charging out without regard for life or death. All stay behind for me. The foreign races roared loudly, launching a siege, not giving them a chance. You guys charge first. Must rush out. There were 2 doyens who roared loudly. Resplendent light suffused from their bodies, burning fiercely like flames. The 2 doyens were risking their lives here, burning their own source. Their strength skyrocketed, blocking a large swath of foreign race powerhouses. Doyens. Many people roared sorrowfully. Burning one's life source, one's life would definitely dry up after this certain death. Charge. That doyen roared loudly. Charge out with us, kill. The remaining doyens, as well as great Emperor realm powerhouses, brought everyone and attacked continuously. There were 2 doyens who risked their lives to stop. They finally broke through the heavy encirclement, rushing toward the small world's exit. At the back, the foreign races chased after with extreme speed. In the process of escaping, there were still people falling continuously. Very soon they saw the small world's exit. At this time, the small world's exit was forcefully torn open by the foreign races, the exit expanding over 100 times. They directly rushed out. But after they rushed out, their expressions became even uglier. Ahead of them was a dense cluster of outsiders that formed an arc, surrounding the exit of the small world. Clearly the foreign races came prepared. Furthermore, in front of the foreign races, they even saw 2 burly men. They were precisely the heavenly realms people. Lu Ming had even seen them before. These 2 burly men looked at Lu Ming, they all with a cold smile. Nangong Kong, it's you all? You all betrayed the small world, you all betrayed us. Someone roared loudly. Chapter 2300. Everyone's eyes were filled with killing intent as they stared at the 2 burly men. They had been betrayed. Hee hee. At that moment, the 2 burly men laughed sinisterly. Following that, a layer of black light emitted from their bodies. Then the light began to distort. 2 black shadows emerged from their bodies. Beside them, 2 other figures appeared. They were like shadows. They'd been possessed. One of the eminent elders said. They had not been betrayed. Instead, they had been captured by the other races when they went out to gather information. Then they were possessed and found out the location of the entrance to the lesser worlds. At that moment, the 2 burly men came to their senses. When they saw Lu Ming and the others, they instantly understood that they had been used to find the entrance to the lesser worlds. Ah! The 2 of them roared. Their eyes were red as they turned around and pounced on the other races. They could not accept this. However, an Emperor Realm alien slapped out with 2 palms, killing the 2 burly men instantly. How dare you try to escape? Kill them. Don't let any of them go. One of the great emperors waved his hand. Immediately the army of other races charged toward Lu Ming and the others. Charge out. One of the eminent elders roared as he charged forward. A chaotic battle broke out again. Both sides fought fiercely. However, the other races behind them charged toward them. Lu Ming and the others were no match for them at all. Kill, kill, kill. Lu Ming's eyes were bloodshot. He wielded his long spear and slaughtered the other races. His body was bathed in blood. Some of it was his own and some of it was the other races. He continuously circulated the indestructible ancient scripture to heal his injuries. He was like a killing machine that would never tire. Lu Ming had lost count of how many other races he had killed, but the number of people around him kept decreasing. Ren Chan was also severely injured. If not for Lu Ming's protection, he would have died. Let's block them and let them charge out. We must charge out. A senior statesman roared as his body started to burn like a raging inferno. He was burning his life origin. He was not the only one. The other eminent elders, including the great emperors, were burning their life origin as well. Burning their life source, their fighting prowess skyrocketed. Finally they managed to tear open a gap. Charge out. Ren Chan, you must survive. A grand elder roared. Ren Chan, Lu Ming, their talents were too good. They could not die here. Only by escaping would they have a chance to rise up in the future. Young people were the only hope. Doyen elder, Ren Chan lamented. It was the same for the others. The grand elders and elders were doing this to protect them. Otherwise, with their own battle prowess, their chances of escaping would be much higher. At this moment, Lu Ming felt a lump in his throat. In the past 2 years, he had already integrated into this small world and had developed feelings for it. But now, he was witnessing with his own eyes the people he was familiar with dying before his eyes one after another. This was a kind of sorrow. Power, power, I need supreme power. Lu Ming roared in his heart. If he didn't have the strength, he could foresee that if the Taiching Sky domain was breached one day, the Yuan realm wouldn't be spared either. At that time he wouldn't be able to protect his family, friends and lovers. This was something he could not accept. Charge out. A grand elder roared. Kill. Lu Ming, Ren Chan, and the others also roared and charged toward the gap. Stop them. The foreign race experts attacked crazily, but they were blocked by the grand elders and the others. Lu Ming and the others charged toward the gap crazily. In front of them there were several great emperors leading the way. Along the way there were still people dying in battle, but they were unwavering. Finally they rushed out of the encirclement, but the grand elders and other great emperors had already been overwhelmed by the foreign race and couldn't be seen. They knew that the grand elders and elders would most likely not survive. Kill. In the distance the foreign race chased after them. The situation was still very dangerous. Where should we go? There are foreign races everywhere. No matter where we go, we'll die. Many people's faces were pale. So what if they rushed out? There was still no way out. Enter the land of dusk. At this moment Lu Ming's voice spread throughout the place. Many people couldn't help but look at Lu Ming. The land of dusk was the #1 forbidden land in the myriad spirit celestial domain. It was full of danger, and those who entered had no chance of survival. Previously, a large number of foreign race experts had entered the land of dusk and suffered heavy losses. Even the heavenly emperors had fallen. Wouldn't they be courting death if they went in? If we escape in other directions, we won't be able to escape. They'll catch up sooner or later and only death will await us. Only by entering the land of dusk will we have a chance of survival. Otherwise we won't have a chance. Lu Ming said in a firm voice. Alright, let's do that. We don't have time. Charge into the land of dusk. Ren Chan shouted. Let's go. The remaining great emperors also made up their minds and rushed into the land of dusk. Behind them, the foreign race continued to pursue and were closing in. As they fled, they chased and killed. More and more people fell. We'll bring up the rear. Several great emperors came to the rear and blocked the foreign race. The land of dusk was very dangerous. It was full of terrifying field energy that could kill people without leaving a trace. However, because of the foreign race's attack, the structure of the terrain had changed. There were traces of Wawa pits everywhere, and the field energy had disappeared. They were advancing along the road opened by the foreign race. Otherwise, they would have died under the field energy. They charged all the way into the land of dusk. However, after charging for a while, they encountered another group of foreign race. This road opened by the foreign race was also guarded by foreign race experts. When they saw Lu Ming and the others, they roared and charged at them. There were strong enemies in front and pursuers behind. Now they could only fight. Charge. Lu Ming took the lead. His glabella shone and the Heavenly Emperor's physical body flew out. Now he had no choice but to use the Heavenly Emperor's physical body. Fortunately, in the past few years, Lu Ming had been storing energy for the Heavenly Emperor's physical body when he was free. Lu Ming had killed many true emperors and obtained a shocking amount of those crystals. They were constantly converted into energy for the Heavenly Emperor's physical body. In more than 2 years, the energy stored in the Heavenly Emperor's physical body had reached a shocking 55%. With such a strong energy, the power was naturally shocking and terrifying. Lu Ming merged into the Heavenly Emperor's physical body. The Heavenly Emperor's physical body held a combat sword and slashed out. A large number of foreign race experts who were below the Great Emperor level died instantly. Such a powerful puppet. Rin Chan and the others were delighted. They thought that the Heavenly Emperor's physical body was a puppet. Lu Ming controlled the Heavenly Emperor's physical body and took the lead to kill. Chapter 2301. The Heaven Emperor's body contained 55% of its energy. When it exploded, it was truly shocking. A 1-star Great Emperor rushed over and was killed by Lu Ming with a single slash. 55% of its energy was enough to kill a 3-star Great Emperor. Kill? Lu Ming rampaged. With Lu Ming's display of invincibility, the foreign races in front were finally routed. They rushed forward. However, due to the obstruction in front and the foreign races chasing after them, they lost a large number of people. More and more people died. Now there were less than 3,000 of them left. The number of people in the small world was shocking. Naturally, there were more than 3,000 of them. However, those whose cultivation were too low were kept into the small world by the true emperors. This was also very dangerous because if the true emperor was killed, everyone in the small world would die as well. Therefore, it was unknown how many people and divine beasts had died along the way. The numbers were endless. This was the war between the two worlds. It was incomparably cruel. When the foreign races attacked the heaven world, the number of people who died in the heaven world was even more innumerable. Less than 3,000 people killed their way into the depths of the land of dusk. However, after rushing for a while, they encountered another group of foreign races. There was no choice. This path was opened by the foreign races and naturally, there were foreign races guarding it. However, it was more dangerous to go to other places. The energy field of the land of dusk could kill everything. Everyone fought with everything they had, bathed in blood as they charged forward. Another few hundred people would forever remain here. Fortunately, after encountering several groups of foreign races, they did not encounter any more foreign races in front. Lu Ming killed his way to the back and fought with the foreign races that were chasing after them. Towards the end, the energy of the Heaven Emperor's body was completely exhausted and could not be controlled. Lu Ming could only keep the body. At this point, he had lost count of how many foreign races he had killed. Towards the end, they were only left with about 2,000 people. This was an incomparably heavy loss. At this time, they finally arrived at the depths of the land of dusk. In front of them, there were mountains that rose and fell one after another. At this point, the outsiders actually stopped in their tracks and retreated. In the eyes of the foreign races, everyone saw fear and panic. Lu Ming and the others braced themselves, not daring to be careless. These mountains, why do they look like tombs? Someone spoke with a hoarse voice. The others remained silent. Indeed, these tall mountains, one after another, really looked like tombs. Although there were no tombstones or anything like that, their shapes were very similar. I don't think so. These mountains are so majestic. How could they be a tomb? After a while, someone spoke in bewilderment. What should we do next? Someone asked. The outsiders have retreated. Let's take a rest and recover our strength. Part of us will rest and the other part will patrol the area. A great emperor realm elder said. Now there were only 3 great emperors left among them. Everyone nodded. Now this was the only way. Just as they were about to arrange for a rest, a dull roar came from the front. It came from the mountains. Everyone was greatly alarmed. They didn't have time to rest and gathered together vigilantly. Rumble. Several majestic mountains trembled, and under everyone's shocked gazes, they actually cracked open. A roar came from the crack in the mountains and a terrifying murderous aura burst out. It was extremely terrifying and it made one's heart beat faster. Roars came from several mountains in a row, and in the roar the mountains trembled non-stop. Even the ground trembled and the clouds in the sky were directly shaken apart, and hideous cracks appeared in the space. There seemed to be a few primordial beasts hibernating in those mountains. What is this? Someone's voice trembled. They recalled the news that they had heard before. Some time ago the outsiders had entered the depths of the Land of Dusk, but in the end they returned in defeat. In the depths of the Land of Dusk, a terrifying creature had awakened, and the heavenly emperor of the outsiders had fallen there. Was this the creature that they were facing now? Their faces turned pale. It was really a dead end. There were outsiders behind them and there was such a creature in front of them. However, they had no intention of blaming Lu Ming. Even if they didn't take this path and rush to other places in the myriad spirit sky domain, they would still be caught by the outsiders. If they encountered the heavenly emperors of the outsiders, they would still be unable to escape death. Since the outsiders had found the entrance to the small world, their fate seemed to have been sealed, just like the other creatures in the myriad spirit sky domain. A few more terrifying roars came from those mountains and then a few figures walked out. Suddenly, a terrifying murderous aura burst out crazily, enveloping the world. Many of the weaker cultivators vomited mouthfuls of blood. That's a human. No, it's a zombie, someone exclaimed in shock. The figures that walked out of the mountains weren't primordial beasts. They were human-shaped and tall, more than 2 meters tall. However, their bodies were covered with long golden hair, and their eyes were blood red. The murderous aura were so thick that it couldn't be dispersed. They were clearly zombies. These mountains were indeed tombs, and there were terrifying experts buried in the tombs, who turned into zombies after death. Lu Ming and the others had many thoughts in their minds. What kind of existence would turn into such terrifying zombies? Even the heavenly emperors of the outsiders had fallen here. A total of 5 zombies stared at Lu Ming and the others with their blood-red eyes. A terrifying murderous aura spread towards them. Oh no! The remaining great emperors rushed forward and unleashed their auras, trying to stop the murderous aura. However, when the murderous aura rushed towards them, the great emperors' bodies shook violently, and they were forced to retreat. Their eyes were filled with shock. Just the murderous aura was enough to make them unable to withstand it. The strength of these zombies was terrifying. However, although these zombies were powerful, they didn't seem to have intelligence. With a roar, the murderous aura became thicker and turned into cold murderous intent. Oh no, retreat, one of the great emperors shouted. The 5 zombies roared and moved like lightning, rushing towards the group at an extremely fast speed. It's over, a thought flashed across the group's mind. These zombies were extremely powerful and they weren't something they could resist. They would be torn apart easily. Stop. At this moment, a loud roar came from the depths of the Land of Dusk. Then the 5 zombies suddenly stopped and floated in the air. Whoosh, whoosh. Chapter 2302. Human race. It's the human race. Rin Chan exclaimed and the others became excited. The dozen or so people were definitely from the human race. They were all middle-aged men with burly physiques and strong auras. Their bodies were filled with powerful life essence. They weren't zombies but humans. They didn't expect that there would be humans in the Land of Dusk. Moreover, it seemed like the powerful zombies were obeying their orders. If they were from the human race, they would be saved. The dozen or so burly men approached and bowed to the zombies, which surprised everyone. Afterward, more than 10 people looked at Lu Ming and the rest with unfriendly gazes. Are you from the law system? Were you the ones who disturbed our ancestors' slumber? The leading burly man spoke with a cold voice. Law system? Ancestors' slumber? Lu Ming, Rin Chan and the rest. He was very surprised. What did this burly man mean? Why did he say they were from the law system? This statement was strange. Could it be that the other party didn't cultivate the law system? Could it be that the ancestors' slumber was referring to the zombies? Senior, it wasn't us who disturbed your ancestors' slumber, but the foreign races. Rin Chan said. Foreign races? What foreign races? The leading burly man was puzzled. In my opinion, it's them. There are no good people in the law system. Let's take them all down and hand them over to the elders for interrogation. Let's see what they're up to. Another burly man yelled. That's right. The other burly men nodded. This made Lu Ming's face change. The leading burly man nodded. Suddenly, the dozen or so burly men moved as fast as lightning, appearing in all directions around Lu Ming's group. Boom, boom. More than 10 burly men erupted with shocking auras, and thunderous booms rang out. Pillars of blood chi rushed out of their bodies, like smoke signals soaring into the sky. That was pure blood chi. The dozen or so burly men were like primordial dragons. Their blood chi was so dense that it formed a terrifying pressure. Physique cultivators, primordial physique cultivators, they're primordial physique cultivators. One of the Emperor Realm experts exclaimed. The others were also shocked. Archean body cultivators, these people were actually Archean body cultivators. No wonder these people called it the law system. The primordial cultivation system and the law system were indeed two completely different cultivation systems. However, the ancient immemorial body cultivation had been lost for a long time. Only a very small amount of it was still being passed down, and the number of people who cultivated it was also extremely small. More than 10 primeval body cultivators had suddenly appeared here. Senior, you've misunderstood. This is the first time we've been here and we were being hunted down. That's why we're here. It really is the outsiders who are disturbing you. A great emperor explained. The aura of these dozen or so burly men was too shocking. Their chi and blood were incomparably vigorous, like a barbaric dragon. Their muscles trembled slightly, and actually emitted a terrifying rumbling sound. That was caused by his muscles vibrating at an extremely fast speed, bombarding the air. This was a pure primordial body cultivator. According to legend, body cultivators of the primordial era purely cultivated their physical bodies. Their chi and blood were like dragons, and their physical bodies were inconceivably powerful. They did not have saint energy or world energy in their bodies, but they could still fly and even shatter the void. What he relied on was his physical body. When their muscles vibrated, they could resonate with the space around them, allowing their bodies to tear through the air. They were already using their bodies to the extreme. The dozen or so burly men in front of them were the same. Whether it's a misunderstanding or not, we'll explain it to our elders. Let's go, don't force us to fight. The leading burly man said coldly. A terrifying aura enveloped heaven and earth. His body was no different from an ordinary person, but it made people feel like they were facing a wild beast. Brr, brr. The 5 zombies also roared, and a terrifying aura enveloped Lu Ming and the others. Everyone's expression changed. The 5 zombies were extremely tyrannical. Together with the dozen or so burly men, they could not fight at all. If they fought, only death would await them. No matter what, they're still humans. It's better than falling into the hands of the outsiders. That's right. Then let's go with them. Some people transmitted their voices. In the end, a few great emperors nodded and decided to go with them. Follow us. The leading burly man took the lead and walked towards the depths of the land of dusk. Lu Ming and the others followed. The other burly men fell behind, blocking their path of retreat. They flew towards the tomb-like mountains. When the 5 zombies reached the mountains, they entered the cracks of the mountains and the mountains closed up. Could it be that these zombies were all immemorial body cultivators when they were alive? Lu Ming guessed in his heart. Immemorial body cultivators had incomparably strong bodies, and it was difficult for their bodies to decay after death. Since these zombies were so strong, it was very likely that they were transformed from immemorial body cultivators after death. The bodies of immemorial body cultivators were not that strong. Even if they turned into zombies after death, they would not be so strong. Moreover, these zombies did not seem to have any intelligence, but they listened to the orders of the burly men. The burly men called the zombies their ancestors, which further explained the problem. The group of people kept walking forward. After crossing the mountains, what appeared in front of them was still a huge mountain. There are so many mountains. Could it be that every mountain has a powerful zombie? Someone said in a low voice, full of shock. If that was the case, then it was terrifying. No wonder the outsiders had suffered a great loss here. They flew past at least 100 mountains, and in front of them was a valley surrounded by several mountains. There was a huge stone door in the middle of the valley. This stone door was open, and there was a pitch-black whirlpool inside. This is the entrance to a minor world. Lu Ming and the others were moved. The burly man took the lead and entered the stone door. Thereafter, Lu Ming and the rest also entered the stone door one by one. After entering the stone door, they arrived at a huge square. There were many people around the square, all of them middle-aged burly men with strong blood vitality. It was obvious at a glance that they were all immemorial body cultivators. There was actually a minor world in the depths of the land of dusk, the #1 forbidden ground in the all-spirit land. It was truly shocking that there were so many immemorial body cultivators. All of you follow me. The burly man from before stood in front of the crowd. After he finished speaking, he led them and flew forward. This space, no, is it a minor world that was born naturally? Lu Ming felt more and more surprised. There were many minor worlds in this world. Most of them were cultivated by people. When one's cultivation reached the true emperor realm, one would be able to cultivate a more stable minor world. However, there were very few minor worlds that were not cultivated by people, but were born naturally. For example, when the celestial world was born, some minor worlds would be born and attached to the celestial world. However, such small worlds were extremely few in number. Chapter 2303. After flying for a while, a huge city appeared in front of them. In the city, all kinds of stone buildings soared into the sky. They were densely packed and stretched as far as the eye could see. Looking from afar, there were many people coming and going in the city. This place was like a real world, like a huge country. According to legend, there were many cultivation systems in the primordial era. For example, primordial physical cultivation, primordial martial arts, primordial demon path, and so on. There were many cultivation paths and it was incomparably prosperous. Later, the nomological system rose and expanded at an astonishing speed. Because the primordial cultivation system had very high requirements in all aspects, the cultivation conditions were harsh, and only a few people could cultivate it. However, the nomological system did not have such high requirements. As long as one had some talent, they could cultivate it and naturally grew very quickly. It did not take long for the nomological system to become the most powerful cultivation system. Where there were people, there was a world. Between the major cultivation systems, battles were inevitable. Later on, a shocking war broke out. The major cultivation systems of the primordial era fought against the nomological system. That battle was earth-shattering, but in the end, the nomological system won. Many of the other cultivation systems were cut off and fell apart. Slowly they became weaker and weaker. Until now, not many people still cultivated the primordial cultivation system. However, there was such a world here. Could it be that they had stayed here since the primordial era? Everyone's imagination ran wild. After that, they flew into the city. Countless people looked at Lu Ming and the others curiously and whispered to each other. Not long after, they came to a square. There were already many people in the square. There were old men, middle-aged men, and young people. All of them had strong vitality like dragons. Even those old men had snow-white hair, but their skin was smooth and their muscles were full as if they were filled with endless strength. Elders. The leading man came to the front of a few old men with snow-white hair and bowed to report. Then he told them in detail about meeting Lu Ming and the others. After listening, the old men nodded. One of them walked towards Lu Ming and the others. Some time ago, were you the ones who disturbed the ancestors' sleep? The old man asked. Senior, it wasn't us. On Lu Ming's side, a great emperor said. It's not you? Not too long ago, our ancestor was disturbed, and came out of the great necropolis to fight with someone. This time we sent people to investigate and they happened to see you. How dare you say it wasn't you? The old man's face sank. Senior, it really wasn't us. It was the outsiders who attacked this place. We were also being chased by them. That's why we ran here. A great emperor explained. Alien race? What alien race? Could it be a divine beast? There are also many divine beasts among you. The old man was puzzled. His gaze swept over Lu Ming and the others. It's not a divine beast. It's a foreign race from another world. They're vicious and cruel. Most of the heaven realm's territory has been occupied by them. Countless creatures have died in battle. The great emperor explained. What? A race from another world? The old man's expression changed drastically. The faces of the other Archean body cultivators also changed. My body cultivator lineage has been living in seclusion here ever since the primeval war. What exactly is happening in the outside world now? The old man asked. Everyone's heart jumped. No wonder the old man didn't know about the foreign race. They had been living in seclusion here since the primeval age. The primeval age was much older than the ancient era. The foreign race hadn't invaded yet. Senior, it's like this. That martial monarch immediately explained in detail the invasion of the foreign tribes in the ancient times. Then he recounted how they were besieged, how they were defeated, and how they fled to the depths of the land of dusk helplessly. The old man and the other Archean body cultivators listened attentively. After listening to the story, their faces became extremely heavy. Senior, 8 of the heaven realm's 9 heavens have been occupied by the foreign race. The 10,000 spirit heaven was occupied countless years ago. Now, the countless small worlds and forbidden lands in the 10,000 spirit heaven have all been occupied by the foreign race. Only the land of dusk hasn't been occupied. I'm guessing that the foreign race won't let this place go. They'll gather a large number of experts to attack this place. The great emperor said. The old man's expression changed. After a while he said, "Is what you said true?" It was obvious that they were still skeptical. In the battle back then, the Archean body cultivators were defeated by those who practiced the laws. They didn't have a good impression of those who practiced the laws. Every word is true, the great emperor said. The others nodded. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Just at this moment, a few burly men flew over at top speed. Their faces were filled with panic. Elder, a large number of experts have appeared in the resting place of our ancestor. I don't know which race they are from, but they're attacking the resting place of our ancestor. A burly man reported. What? Gather the experts and face the enemy? The elder roared. Soon the sound of a bell could be heard in the huge city. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In the city, numerous figures flew out from various buildings. Countless figures flew towards the exit of the world. So many experts. Lu Ming and the others were shocked. Among them, some of their auras were terrifyingly strong. They were definitely great emperors. There were even some heavenly emperors. Watch them. Don't let them wander around. The elder instructed the people around him. Then he rose into the air and flew towards the exit of the world. Around them, there were more than 10 burly men staring at Lu Ming and the others. Lu Ming and the others waited quietly. After 2 days they saw a large number of figures flying back to the city. Looks like they won. Archean body cultivators are indeed powerful. Rin Chan's beautiful eyes flashed. The others also revealed a look of joy. No matter what, the Archean body cultivators were also humans. It was better than the foreign races. At this moment, a few figures flew over. In the middle was a young man. The young man looked to be in his 20s. He was burly and muscular. He seemed to be filled with endless strength. He flew towards Lu Ming and the others. He looked at Lu Ming and the others curiously and said, "The elder asked me to pass a message. He believes that what you said is true. With the current situation, the various races of the heaven realm should be united. So, you can move freely here in the future. I will arrange accommodation for you." Rin Chan and the others were overjoyed. They were saved. Obviously, the Archean body cultivators had gone out to fight with the foreign races. They finally believed their words and agreed to accept them. "Brother, how is the battle outside?" Lu Ming stepped out and asked with a fist salute. "The foreign races outside have been defeated by the experts and the ancestral sacred body," the young man said. "I'm guessing that the foreign races will send more experts." Chapter 2304. The youth nodded and said, "The elders have already thought of this. Next, they will send a large number of experts to guard the ancestral resting place. At the same time, the elders are also thinking of other countermeasures. All right, I'll take you to your residence first." Then the youth turned and flew in a certain direction. Lu Ming and the others followed. On the way they learned the youth's name. He was called Hong Lu. Soon they arrived at a spacious area. There were large stone houses here but no one lived in them. Lu Ming and the others stayed here for the time being. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 days had passed since Lu Ming and the others arrived. Hong Lu was very curious about Lu Ming and the others, mainly about the outside world, so he often came to Lu Ming and the others. Lu Ming, Rin Chan and Hong Lu were all young people, so they naturally got along well. After a few exchanges they became familiar with each other. Lu Ming and the others also learned a lot about this world. Their lineage had been living in seclusion in the depths of the Land of Dusk ever since their defeat in the Primeval War. The Land of Dusk was the most dangerous forbidden area in the Land of Myriad Spirits. There was terrifying field energy everywhere. For so many years, no one had discovered that there were large numbers of primeval physique cultivators living in seclusion here. The exit of this world, which was also the ancestral resting place, was indeed the place where the primeval physique cultivators' ancestors were buried. Many primeval physique cultivators would die and be buried there. Under the effects of the wondrous field energy, their bodies would turn into zombies. Although those zombies did not have intelligence, the Archean body cultivator lineage had a special technique that allowed them to communicate with the zombies and control them to form a powerful fighting force. Back then, when the outsiders attacked the depths of the Land of Dusk, they alarmed the zombies. The zombies awakened and repelled the outsiders. The awakening of the zombies also alarmed the primeval physique cultivators, so they sent people out to investigate. They just happened to run into Lu Ming and the others and mistakenly thought that Lu Ming and the others had attacked that area. During this time, Hong Lu had been inquiring about the outside world. Lu Ming told him what he knew. The outsiders are so vicious. They deserve to be killed. Hong Lu roared, filled with righteous indignation. Brother Lu, Miss Rinchan, shall I show you around? Have a taste of our scenery and customs. Hong Lu invited. Sure. Rinchan said. She was also very curious about this place. However, as she had just arrived, she did not dare to walk around recklessly. Lu Ming also nodded. Immediately, Hong Lu led the way and everyone walked around. Most ancient body cultivators were simple and honest people. When they saw Lu Ming and the others, they curiously sized them up and nodded. They circled around the city and came to a spacious area. This was a training ground for the primordial system. The training field was very spacious. There were many people cultivating, but most of them were quite young. There were 2 or 3 years old kids, 5 or 6 years old, 7 or 8 years old, and the oldest was a teenager. What surprised Lu Ming and the others was that the strength of these little brats was shockingly great. Lu Ming saw a 4 or 5-year-old kid running around with a naked but holding a cauldron that weighed more than 5,000 kilograms. A 7 or 8-year-old kid carried a small mountain and ran as if he was flying. All of them were shockingly strong. Lu Ming and Rinchan were dumbfounded. We primordial body cultivators have to build our foundation from the age of 1. We soak in spiritual liquid and temper our bodies. From the age of 3 we have to cultivate body tempering techniques. Our cultivation is all on the physical body, so we are relatively strong. Hong Lu explained with a smile, feeling rather proud. Amazing, indeed amazing. Lu Ming exclaimed. Primordial body cultivators had unparalleled physical bodies. They were indeed incomparably powerful. For those who cultivated the laws, as their cultivation increased, their physical bodies would also be tempered and slowly become stronger. After reaching the martial monarch realm, cultivating the spiritual body would have all sorts of wondrous uses and strong vitality. However, in terms of physical bodies, Lu Ming discovered that the physical bodies of many martial sages were not as strong as those of the 7 or 8-year-old children here, let alone martial monarchs. As for those teenagers, their physical bodies were even more astonishing. Bang! Bang! 2 figures were fighting fiercely in the sky. The 2 teenagers, who were 15 or 16 years old, kept colliding in the sky. They were like 2 streaks of light, moving at an astonishing speed. Their combat strength is equivalent to the bright sage realm. Also, the use of their physical bodies is amazing. Lu Ming observed carefully and was amazed. These 2 teenagers, who were only 15 or 16 years old, already had the combat strength of the bright sage realm. It was already very good. Moreover, their use of their physical bodies was superb. Their muscles were rapidly vibrating, resonating with the air and space, allowing their bodies to fly. Furthermore, their speed was astonishing. The vibrations were very subtle. If not for Lu Ming's amazing eyesight, he would not have noticed it. The way the 2 of them attacked was very simple. It was a collision of strength, punches hitting flesh. Bang! 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 The 2 of them exchanged a few hundred blows before stopping. They each found a place to recover and cultivate. Brother Lu, I can feel that your blood chi is extremely strong and your physical body is strong. It far surpasses those who cultivate the laws. I'm very curious. Have you also cultivated the body tempering technique? Hong Lu sized up Lu Ming and asked curiously. Hong Lu was an expert of the body tempering technique and was very sensitive to people with strong physical bodies. He could naturally feel that Lu Ming's physical body was also extremely strong. I've never cultivated the body tempering technique before. It's just that my physical body is stronger by chance. Lu Ming said with a smile. His spiritual body was a high-class heaven spiritual body back then, and he had refined the chaos chi in it so it was exceptionally strong. Later, after being tempered by the 9 types of laws and refining a portion of the ancestral dragon's blood, Lu Ming's physical body was astonishingly strong. In the body tempering technique, no martial artist of the same level could compare to Lu Ming's physical body. Brother Lu, why don't we have a spar? Hong Lu said expectantly. He had never sparred with experts of other cultivation systems. He had always been very curious about how strong the body tempering technique was. In the primordial era, it could actually defeat other cultivation systems. All right. Lu Ming nodded. He was also very curious about how strong the pure body tempering technique of the primordial era was. Bao De was also a body tempering technique of the primordial era and was very strong. Back in the primordial realm's 10 lands battle, Lu Ming had fought with Bao De and had a deep impression of him. The two of them moved and arrived high in the sky. In the cultivation field, the youths and children were all attracted. Brother Hong Lu is going to fight. Brother Hong Lu is invincible among the younger generation. It's been a long time since he fought. This time he can learn from him. Those youths and children cried out one after another, extremely excited. Even some of the older ones were attracted. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.